All right. We are now at part 2. Now, part 1 was youthful prodigy, taboo artistry, must watch for parents. Now it's part 1, all about the natal chart. So make sure you listen to part 1 before you try to listen to part 2. I don't know how part 2 will go. Might use the same picture, may not. Just depends. In fact, I might not even, I don't know, might not even call it part 1. Who knows? Probably won't, because I know I say part 1 during the audio, so I don't need to say it again. Because we don't know where we're going to go now. Now, see, you just learned, if you listen to part 1 way for parents to relate to their children. Because instead of acting like you don't know what's going on with your kid, and then your kid pops up pregnant, and you act like you're so shocked, like you had no idea. It could be your boy. It could be something with your male son or something. But when it becomes evident, then you say, oh, you act like you didn't have no idea something was going on, which you kind of knew, you just didn't want to deal with it. So the universe is saying don't deal with it, but they're trying to show you what proper parenting is more or less, you got to have a communication going on with the child no matter what. Even if before hearing these videos it wasn't too good, because you could just humble yourself, because the whole thing is family. It's still family. That's the same blood as you, or whatever's going on. Even if it's a stepchild, whatever's going on, it's still family. So you can still humble yourself, say, okay, boom, just get over it. But I think especially when they're young, that's when you really want to have that communication going on, because that's when they really want to talk to you. Any parent knows that later on in later teenage years, they're like, they think. But if you got it better, if you start early, it's better off. So that's what we were basically talking about. This is the prodigy. Definitely will be in it, very spiritual, very mystical, very close to the high priestess. So she's going to have a lot of secrets, because that's the high priestess. It is what it is. Confirm your love and just let them know, I'll be here for you. Don't worry. Whatever. Just tell them and all that, because you never know what's going to go on. And it's just so strange with these kids now. But it can be sad. But that's why you have to be careful, because a lot of these kids are going deep. They're going dark real early. Just like if you listen to Roseanne Barr. Roseanne Barr tells you that when she was a young girl, she wanted to be famous, and she didn't know how to do it, so she made a pact. She tells you that. She made a pact, and you saw what happened when she became famous. But then she also went crazy. And that's what happens to a lot of these people that make these pacts with these spirits. At some point, they start to go crazy. At some point in life, and they get caught up in some stuff. So you try not to make a pact. You try to teach them so they don't do that, because you don't have to make a pact. You're already blessed by the universe. You already have gifts and skills. The universe will already take you to wherever you need to go. You don't need to make a pact with something. So you got to know this stuff. You don't run from it. You don't hide it. You don't act like it doesn't exist. But you change your attitude, and then at least they'll know you want to communicate. You're trying to communicate. Maybe your whole approach to them is totally different now. You're a little bit more relaxed. Maybe you spend more time with them, taking them out, or giving them some ice cream and stuff. But now they don't see you as, wow, this person's always, because when I look at that second house, I see somebody Saturn retrograde can be physical abuse. But Saturn retrograde can just be like even a mom, just somebody just being dogmatic. So you don't want to do that. And you got to remember, her calling will be her art, and that's why you teach her how to do her money, teach her how to have her banking, her account, and stuff like that, because she's gonna have money because of her art. And that's how it really works out. So her main concern, because if she does really, she ain't gonna be cleaning anyway, because she's gonna probably pay somebody to clean up. So you got to look at it, because otherwise it's just gonna be a cycle. That Saturn retrograde is a cycle of trying to push her for something she failed to do even in a previous life, and that may never happen. Even he said that this is an incarnation that might have been going on for upon life, because it's going to go on, because she may not want to do it, so she's going on and on. So got to find out what she does want to do, and that's where she'll get her energy from. That's why everybody supposed to have a natal chart, so you know how to not just direct the children, but marriage and everything. It's just, they say natal chart, you can't separate it. And anybody trying to do it their own way, or scapegoating, or sugarcoating, or I'll go get somebody else because I think they'll be nicer and all that silly shit, you better find out what's in harmony with the universe. Because I get sick of hearing about dead people. I get sick of hearing about women being raped and killed. I get sick of hearing about one of my clients, we've saved her numerous times. She got rid of the guy, he was still stalking her. but we still knew. And all those readings are public. But she also deals with her own psychic, and even her psychic said, "I know what I'm doing." So we're keeping people alive. So we had to stop all this, running away from the universe, trying to do it your way. You got to do it the way the universe told you to do it, and that's where you're going to get blessings from the universe. Because even if you look at part one, that picture that I didn't really pick the picture. I just typed something in, and that's the picture that came up. So the universe picked that picture. But that's a prodigy. She's going to make a lot of money off that artwork and stuff like that. Let her be who she is. Let her be who the universe has chosen her to be. And I think that's the best thing any child could have, whether they realize, trying to discipline you for this or discipline you for that. When you have somebody that's really there for you, it makes all the difference in the world for you. That's a blessing from God in itself. We learned a lot about her personality. I think she has a beautiful third house. I know they give Lilith a bad long time. I've seen Lilith. Lilith has come to me, scared the hell out of me. But Lilith is cool. Lilith is the power. Lilith teaches you how to fight. Lilith teaches you not to take no bullshit. Lilith is the power. So that's why, like I said, when I see Doja, got a lot of love for Doja. Lilith, she's not having it. And she'll tell you, if you listen to that interview with her, Doja and Sway, even Sway had to respect him. Now remember, Sway done been with all the rappers. Sway be at all the battle raps. Sway is that dude. He go way back to respect Doja. So that's Lilith. That's who he's respecting the high priestess. All right. So let's continue. Make sure you do. For part 2, I'll probably just put up the chart. That way the chart will be available as well for people. The chart is on part 1 as well, but it's just a little smaller. You can still see it though. But if I just put part 2 to chart, then that's better. Because then you got the whole chart to look at. Family and home. Now, interesting is nothing really there except for Virgo. But again, that's the Virgin Mary. And remember, it still got the whole moon. Because the moon rules the 4th house. It rules Cancer. So even though the moon is in the 5th house, it's still, the energy is still being felt in the 4th house. But again, this is, anytime you see the moon in Virgo, that's still a Mother Mary. Now, when you see Virgo in the 4th house, this could even be homeland security. To some degree, it could be a good citizen, or it might even be a soldier. But Virgo rules the 6th house, which is health, healing, service, daily activities, which could include your job, small children, small animals, co-workers, and subordinates. But believe it or not, this is a family home situation. And I already told you what's in the 4th house, so I'm not going to repeat that again, but I already told you what's in the 4th house in Cancer. Again, if you haven't heard part 1, make sure you listen to part 1, because you're going to have trouble understanding part 2. So like I said, you can see this person really wants that home. That's why I said the best thing her moms can do is talk to her and make sure that relationship is like what I was suggesting in part 1, because that's what she wants. She wants to talk. She wants to talk. Like a lot of times parents don't know how to deal with it. They don't want to deal with it. They don't want to talk about stuff. You got to talk about it. Like you got to understand how powerful the woman is and how powerful the woman body is. She's got to know. Otherwise, she's going to figure all that stuff out on her own. She's got to know that. And sometimes people are not stupid. Like I said, that's why Doja is with one guy, because she already knows. And you don't know if her parents talk to her, her moms talk to her. You really don't know, but somehow she kind of figured it out. And I've seen them girls, because I watch everything. Which y'all got to understand, I study everything. So I watch everything. So I listen to the interviews. And a lot of them girls are younger, but they'll talk about stuff like that. Like they'll talk about why they don't want a relationship and stuff like that. Like I heard one girl say, and I was shocked. She said nobody's going to be able to stay faithful in a relationship. She said I don't believe that, but she's kind of right. she's kind of right, but it's not fully true. There are people faithful in a relationship, but she's like, it's too hard to do. It's not going to happen. And she said, I'm too young to even be worrying about stuff like that. So it wasn't like her mother told her that. That was something she found out on her own, maybe through YouTube or however she found out that she realized she didn't want it at that age because she knew it wasn't going to be what she said. If it was going to be real, I wouldn't mind it, but it's not going to be real because the guy's just going to break your heart. And then she's like, so I don't want it. I got other stuff I'm doing. When I'm going to college, I'm doing other stuff with my life. And she was young, and she already came to that conclusion. So don't think the children are dumb. They're not dumb. It's just that parents be scared to talk to them and tell them this shit. And that's why I chose that picture for part one, because as you can see, that young girl is busy with her art. You give her creativity, you give her reasons to be busy, and she won't have a whole lot of time to be getting caught up in other stuff. And plus, you'll like what she's doing, so it's not like she feels restricted because she's enjoying what she's doing. And then when you have heart to heart with people and you get them to think, sometimes they're like, yeah, I'll mess my whole life up. If I get pregnant, I'm gonna mess my whole freaking life because I gotta be worrying about this kid and stuff. I'm gonna mess my. They're not stupid. Like if you really let them know that, because a lot of times when girls do what they do is because they don't have that home foundation, and they just want love. I heard a lot of females say that. Even when I was young, females would say that they just want to feel love, so that's why they get pregnant. So you gotta learn how to talk to them and stuff like that. All right, fifth house. So remember, the fifth house is the fun house. It's the creativity. But you see Jupiter right there. Jupiter is right there, and that palace is that's also the soulmate asteroid. That diamond is Pallas, and you have Libra right there. So once again, you see that whole soulmate or twin flame situation, and they're going to be blessed because Jupiter is right there. So not only will they have fun, they'll have love, they'll have relationship. And the fifth house is not too serious, but Libra can be a little serious. But in the fifth house is not, I guess, not too serious. But see, Libra rules the seventh house, which could be serious. And when you look at her seventh house, look what's there: Venus and all this stuff, communication, Mercury, and Mars can be intensity. It could be arguments, but Mars can also be a lot of passion as well. And see how it's 5 degrees? They go to number 5 again. So that 5 degrees I told you is Taurus energy, and Taurus is real sensual. But remember, this is the person she wants to be with, though. This ain't just anybody. Because you see Libra's there. Libra's in the 5th house, but Libra rules the 7th house. That's relationship. And it's being blessed by the universe with Jupiter. Now, even Libra in the 5th house, they still wanted. They want communication. They still want it. But we already found that out about her. Like a Libra doesn't want to just have sex. Like they rather you talk to them, for like foreplay, hold hands, stuff like that usually. But for a Libra, communication is very, very important, and so is togetherness. And Libras can, if things aren't going the way they think they should go, they can start to pull back and withdraw. But I don't really see that from her. Like what may happen is she may be ready, but the guy may not be. That's my biggest fear, that the guy may not be. That's why I'm hoping you teach her, because if not, all she's gonna have to go by is being hurt, and that's gonna mess her up. But when you can teach a person that don't give up, don't be anybody's sucker, but don't give up. Like just because that didn't go the way you wanted to, don't go. It could still be nice, pick up, the different person. Maybe he's just immature, he's not ready yet, or whatever. Because one of my clients, same thing. It took her and her twin a while before they connected, but then they finally connected. So the number 27 is a diplomat, but we already found out that she's a diplomat. That's a person that can talk really good and stuff like that. Like when it comes to her relationship, she really wants it to work. The number 17, I'm gonna tell you in a minute because I always get confused with the number 14 and the number 17, so I always look it up. Okay, so the number 17. Give me a minute. It should have came up. Well, it's the star card, which is Aquarius energy. And whenever you see the star card in the love position, which is what that is, the 5th house with Libra, that's a good thing. And it's Aquarius energy. Now, Aquarius and Leo oppose each other because Leo rules the 5th house. But some twin flames and stuff. Because if it was the same, it would be boring. So it should be some form of it's opposites that complement. Like even when they asked Doja, they said to her like they had a call in, so the people listening to the broadcast called in, and one guy said to Doja, "What type of guys do you like?" She said, "Here's my boyfriend's Instagram." She said, "Go to his Instagram and look at him." So that's what she told him. So that's why I said she's got her head together no matter what she rhyme about. So for the most part, all that taboo, all that stuff Howard Stern did, for the most part, that was just entertainment, because he was going home. He's one of the most quietest people in the world. He don't even talk to people. When he's out on the radio, Howard Stern don't talk to nobody. You know what I'm saying? He just go home and be with his family and stuff for the most part. I'm not saying he's perfect doing that, but everything you heard that everybody was in shock about, that's how he got paid. That was his job. I'm not saying it was right or wrong, but I'm saying he wasn't really even like that, because most of the time he was home. One of the most quiet as you wouldn't even know he was in the room. He's quiet. He's like quiet, but yet on that radio, you would think, you think this guy's coming to get you or something. All right. So now Palace. Now 11 is the master teacher. Well, whenever it's 11 with Libra, that's the Justice card. Now I'm interested. I'm trying to look up Justice card position. So here it is, trustedpsychicmediums.com. Give me a second. This thing is being difficult. So they say Justice card can also be about decision making, assuming responsibility, doing the right thing, and accepting consequences. And remember, the Justice card looks a lot like the High Priestess if you're using the Rider Waite deck. It's almost like it's the universe is saying that it's justice that these two are brought together, and it's even going to bless them with Jupiter. Because remember, Ju, Jupiter, justice. So it's almost like the high priestess is saying this is the way it's supposed to be. Me with my man, and we're happy in the fifth house. Because the fifth house can normally be about just dating and stuff, but she don't want that. She really wants that solid seventh house Libra type relationship. And then when you look at her seventh house, you see how passionate it is. So like they said, karma. Because remember earlier we were talking about karma. So that's what they're basically saying, is that it's just that these two be together. But like I said, I told you how it works. Like sometimes I know she's ready. Like I know she's ready. I know she's young, but I know she's ready. Um, but this hope the guy is, he may or may not be. And they say, remember that karma works in a general sense and a spiritual sense. They just showed me, because I'm on trustedpsychicmedium.com, and while I'm talking, there's a little movie going on. And they said, I don't know which sign it was, but they said this sign of the zodiac is real pessimistic. So it was this real beautiful female. She had like a caramel complexion. Well, she wasn't really light skinned. She was darker, but she was light caramel, but she was darker than light skin. And she had, how the females are wearing their hair now, real curly or whatever. And she said she was looking really sorry. She was looking really doubtful. And she said, let's see. She said, let's see how long it takes you to mess this up. And that just made me laugh. So they are saying if you see justice in this position, that it's telling you that she deserves it. Like she deserves this relationship. So I hope it goes well for her. And the justice card is about balance and harmony. But that's all twin flame stuff. So, but they are warning her that how she, remember, wherever Leo's in her third house. Remember what we talked about, that third house? So they are implying that how she treats other people is going to affect her relationship in the fifth. So that's why she's got to be real careful with that. They talking about that lying stuff and gossiping and all that manipulating. She got to be real careful because it can come back to haunt her and her relationship. So it's important she knows that. And she has to learn the laws of cause and effect. Basically, like for every action there's a reaction. So that's why I said sometimes it's better to just stay away from the gossiping and all that stuff because it's going to come back to haunt you either way. And they say the justice card can also mean destiny, which I never looked at it like that. But you do see the destiny like the vertex cross in the seventh house a lot, because the vertex cross is about destiny, and a lot of times that's in the seventh house. It's about destiny and karma as well, and fate, like this has to happen, fate. So that's what they mean, justice, the justice, and that is that number I said. I think I said number whatever I said. I'll look at it again. Justice in a love position is love and relationships. It's just that this is happening. It's probably a universal karmic reward, and needs are being met. So it says, if you feel that there's more to your man being extra sensitive to his smartphone. They're saying that this was a love reading and the love card came up because you were a little suspicious, so you got a reading. And they said if it was like, if the justice card came up in a love position, if you feel that there's more to your man being extra attentive to his smartphone, or his evasive answers, or his reluctance to post your holiday photos on Facebook, justice will help you uncover everything that you need to uncover and help you come to a decision. So she said, same for you. If you haven't actually been Mrs. Goody Two Shoes, you know what they say about karma being a bitch? Oh, honey, pray that you won't ever have to find out. Woo! So this person said they don't believe in relationships lasting that long either because there's too much deceit and philandering going on. But like I said, I don't necessarily agree with that. It says, but if you're a good girl, justice will reward you with all good things that you can only see in rom-coms, romantic, I guess she's saying romantic comedies or something, and so much more. Kindness, faithfulness, and respect are rewarded. So if you're looking for love and you're a good girl, justice will give you the man you deserve. So now they're talking about justice card and money, but it is money because Jupiter is right there. Like I said, JU, justice, Jupiter. So money's coming in, but money's coming in based on two factors, maybe even three. She got to watch what goes on in the third house because her mouth is going to determine that. If she's doing all that stuff he warned about in the third house, then her fifth house may not go as happy as it could go. So she's got to watch that. And then if she goes into the relationship with a positive attitude, that'll help her. And hopefully he'll have one too. But it's basically saying she can't go wrong as long as she has a positive attitude. But if she lets any of her dark side get the best of her, she's gonna mess that fifth house up probably. But it looks good. And remember the fifth house because that's entertainment too. Like I said, that's exactly. I keep telling everybody, listen to Doja on Sway because that's what you saw. That's the fifth house. It's entertainment, but she's there. But it's still Libra. It's her and her man. And he never comes on camera either. So you'll hear him talking, but he won't come on camera. And then they mentioned the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is Jupiter energy. So that's what she has. She has that Libra energy with the Jupiter energy. So again, that's Doja. She's big on the entertainment world, highly creative. A lot. She has a big following that's getting bigger and bigger. She's there with her love. That's Libra. And she's making money. That's Jupiter. That's why I said you can't go wrong. That's why I said do real astrology. Don't do bubblegum astrology because you're not getting the truth. Because what will happen when you don't have the truth, you'll be wasting time trying to make her do something that she ain't going to do. And all that's going to happen is going to distance. And then all that stuff. Of course she's going to have sex. Of course she's going to have kids. Of course, because it's a distance. She's not going to feel, she's being pushed out. That's why I say be very careful of that Saturn retrograde. I've been watching my mouth because I'm trying to be nice. But I hope that wasn't somebody beating her up or nothing like that. Because a lot of times Saturn retrograde it can be abusive. It could be an abusive mother too, but it could be like an abusive man or abusive parent and stuff. And that's why I tell everybody always be careful. Recently I put a video out here. The title of it was your boyfriend. it was really like a woman with a boyfriend, but he was making improper advances to her daughter. So that video was out here for a little while. Then I put it on unlisted, but that was a real good video. Because this is the stuff that's going on all the time. All I do, like I said, all I do is study all the time. All I do is read all the time. So every time I read the news or Yahoo News or news, that's all you hear about is stuff like that. And it's sad, but you got to understand, why does it keep going on, even though everybody's aware of it, but it keeps going on anyway. People have to take responsibility for their actions. So the justice in this position also means that whatever she's working on now, if she keeps going the way she's going in a positive way, it'll come to fruition. But her love is associated with her creativity. So remember, the Justice card is linked to honesty, integrity, and being like a lawful type person. And they say if you do that, karma will bring some type of good luck, a good energy your way. But they also say that the Justice card is cause and effect. So watch your thoughts, like they said earlier. Watch your thoughts or actions. So yeah, she has to know that too. She has a very karmic energy around her. So she has to watch what she does, her thoughts, her actions, her intention, everything. But she's also the high priestess, so it is what it is. So she just has to be careful, because she may not even mean it, but she may be thinking something that brings it into reality. That's what I said about clairvoyance. That's why she wants to know what her ESP sign, like extrasensory perceptive gifts, are. All the clairs, clairvoyance, clairsentience. She needs to know that. So again, they say it's a very karmic card, which we already said. All right, that was good. Now, once again, Virgo. See what I say? See, that crosses in the 6th house. That's about destiny. But the 6th house is ruled by Virgo. See, that's the vertex cross. That's about fate and destiny. That's going to be a significant event or events. It usually has something to do with a soulmate or a twin flame or twin soul. But it's fate or destiny. Like it's destined to happen. It's fate. But as you can see, her soulmate, that Palace at 9 degrees, once again, 9 degrees is the Hermit card, but it's Virgo energy. So her soulmate might have a significant Virgo in his chart, his natal chart. But that's Virgo. And Virgo will come out in public, but they have their own way of looking at life. Again, like I said, that's how Doja is. And the reason why I keep saying her, because she's so good for this chart. Like I see a lot of people that have the same type of personality of a Prince. The artist known as Prince. So you see it all the time. And then, like I said, 11. Yeah, that was the Justice. That's where we got the Justice from, or the Libra energy. So now you went to the 6th house, and when you have this Scorpio in the 6th house, you have on your free report, you have to learn Scorpio, because Scorpio rules the 8th house, and Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. That's a lot of information. It takes a long time to read it. Plus, to read all that's not going to apply to everybody. But that's on a free report, so get very familiar with that 8th house. But it's a very supernatural house, and it can be business, it can be finance, it can be sex, it could be a rebirth, death and rebirth. When somebody changes, transformation, mystery. And so you see the asteroid is Kiris, the nurturer, which is kind of like the mother. So once again, you're looking at the high priestess. But see, it's nurturing for her to be like that. But still, if you notice, that's all going on in her 6th house. So for her home to be a home, it has to be like that. It has to be mystical. It has to be like the high priestess. It has to come with mystery and all kind of stuff. And then there go that number 47 again. So that's her number. Like, that's her number. You see how that 47 is all on her chart? And then number 8 is the Leo card. That's the strength card. So that's where you see the strength card is the divine feminine with the lion. And the lion is the divine masculine. So that's the twin flames again. So that's what you're looking at in her home. Because that's what she really wants. That's a significant part of her. Like, if you could help her with that, you will help her so much. Because without that, that's going to mess her up. Like, if she gets with a guy and he plays her out, it's going to mess her up really, really bad. And see, y'all got to understand, like a female like this especially, but when they get hurt by a guy, they'll just start sleeping with anybody. So if you could help her out in the beginning, especially, this is the perfect time. Because really, this is just communicating, being honest with her, honest with her about female, womanhood, all that stuff, just being honest with her. Because just like I said, all guys aren't like that. If that's what she really wants. All guys are not bad, but you got to slow it down and find a guy. Because, like, I know I've been around for a minute, and I know that's more important than anything. A lot of people talk all this twin flame stuff, but sometimes your twin flame ain't ready. Even if the universe brings your twin flame to you and they're not ready, you're going to take yourself through hell with that person. If they're not ready, they're not ready. That's a fact. And I watch these people do it all the time because they don't listen. Or they go with bubblegum astrology. They go with feelings and they just do all kind of crazy stuff. Then when their twin flame hurts them or whatever, then they start sleeping with everybody. So then you got all these other problems that come out with sleeping around unprotected and not ready to bring a child into the earth. All that stuff comes out. When you do it the correct way, you can continue to move on. And be happy. So we see it on a chart. It is possible. It's just slowing it down and just realizing, you gotta learn how to. She's gotta learn how to think what's best for her interests, what's best for her career, what's best for her goals in life. You know what I'm saying? Not no dude. Especially if he's not even gonna be a good one. Don't ruin your whole life. And even like with the childbearing, that's the same thing. If you're real young, like, that child's gonna stop everything. Don't you want to enjoy your youth? Like, don't you want to do things like that? Because you're still gonna have a child anyway in the future. But why have it right now when you're young yourself? Like, you gotta just talk. That's just like, that's a lot of that really is conversations. And I think a lot of parents are just scared. They're scared to have a conversation, don't want to have a conversation stuff. And then they want to act like they shocked when she come home and she pregnant. Like, you gonna act like you didn't know this was going on? Like, you didn't know anything? Like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is wrong with you people? You mad at me? Don't be mad at me. Be mad at whoever's doing it. If it's you, it's you. Like, be mad at who's ever doing it. And don't be mad at the kids because the kids don't know no better. That's all. I don't care how I know kids are way more mature than, say, when I was a kid, but they're still kids. Like, at the end of the day, they're still kids. Even if they lived 1,000 lifetimes, right now in that body, they're still a kid. So you can't expect that kid to figure all the stuff out by themselves, even with YouTube. That's the whole idea of having parents to talk to and stuff like that. Even if they act like they're not listening, like, just let them know. You just got to continue to, like, just show them love and just tell them anyway, because you'd be surprised. Like, how many of y'all remember Bernie Mac when he didn't get along with that girl? Who was that? That was his niece. Remember, they didn't get along, but remember, she came into to his door. He was in a room, remember, and she came to the door and kind of like apologized. Stuff like that really happens. You just got to give them a chance. They got to think about it. Because the main thing they got to know is you really care about them and you just don't want to mess their life up. And it might take them a little bit to think about it, but they're not stupid. These kids are not stupid. They way smarter. Probably now they got the internet. They got all kind of stuff. Plus all the psychic stuff is coming back. All these gifts are coming back on these kids. So they're not stupid. So you really want to get to know what goes on in the 8th house. Like I said, oh, now going back to the 6th house, because you got the moon there. Like I said, the 6th house is ruled by Virgo, so that is still going to be the Mother Mary effect. Whenever you have the moon and Virgo, that's the Mother Mary effect. But again, Mother Mary, Isis, High Priestess, it's the same. It's the same. Lilith, it's the same divine feminine energy. These are just different aspects of the divine feminine, and she's the most powerfulest energy in the universe. That's why I said, when you look at somebody like Howard Stern and how much money he has and how he did all that, that's Lilith energy. Power. You can't defeat it. You can't overtake it. When they thought they were going to shut him down and he got tired of going back and forth with the powers that be, he said, F y'all. I'm going to Sirius. Now remember, Sirius is the powerful constellation above us. But Sirius is also broadcasting, but that's his power. Now remember, your red, white, and blue of America, that's Sirius. That's Sirius A, Sirius B, Sirius C. Because the people that really run this planet and run all this, they know all this esoteric stuff. They just don't tell the masses. So what I'm trying to tell you, all that stuff is power. So even in her 5th house, she has the 5th house is ruled by Leo, but Leo is ruled by the sun, and you got the moon there. So you still got the divine masculine, the divine feminine again. And the moon is going to make her very idealistic about love and things of that nature. So that's why I said it's important that you help her, because if she gets to the guy before you talk to her and the guy hurts her, it's going to mess her up. Because she's really, it's on her chart. Like, she's destined for that to happen. And I just hope he's ready. But if not, you just got to be able to take them through and walk them through. And there are other options. Because a person might not be ready now, but he may be ready in a year or two and stuff like that. But that doesn't mean you got to wait. He just ain't ready. Because I know I wouldn't wait. Cause like I said, I was through with failed relationships on this planet. So I was like, if a female, if it don't seem, if it seems like it's gonna be the same old I've been saying, I could do without it. And I've been like since 1998. I quit in 98 and I feel great. I just started studying all the time. Like I just do other shit, but I feel great. But I would be more inclined now than I say would have been years ago. But it still has to be somebody that's not, they got to be on a different level. They can't be on no low level, because I'm not on no low levels, and so I can't be with nobody on no low levels. They got to be something. It's got to be some type of inspiration. It's got to be mutual. All right. So now the number 1 degree is the Gemini energy. So there go Gemini again. And remember, the Gemini is a magician, but the magician really is also like the Pope, because they're all dealing with some type of if you don't want to use the word magic, but that's what that is. It's spirituality that can make things happen. And that 0, because if you notice on her chart, she has a lot of double zeros. Well, maybe not a lot, but I know I've seen them. At least 2 of them. But it's still, like I said, it's still dealing with what I told you, that spiritual Pope energy. Because see, her twin is going to be like that. He's going to have like spiritual Pope energy and a magician energy. And 1 degree is his energy, or it could be her energy too. But that's a magician card, and that's Gemini energy. So that would take you back to the 3rd house. Again, everything we said about the 3rd house. And then 0 is Uranus energy, or the Fool. Like, you could almost say that's an initiation. Like, wherever you see that double 0 on her, and see it's right there with Gemini again. See, that's an initiation. And those are different stages that she'll go. See, whether they're together or not, you are still, like we said telepathy earlier, you're still transmitting to your twin. And the more you learn about it, the more you'll see how powerful it is. Because I got a female that's right up the street from me. She looks exactly like my twin. And she and I have had all kind of weird ass connections and stuff. Because my twin flame is using her to stay in my consciousness. But you see all this, like, it's just something you have to study. On your free report, it'll have website or YouTube videos that talk about the twin flame and the power of it. So this is going to be a very, very mystical relationship. And like I said, her number is 47. It just keeps popping up on her chart. And I'll try to find one information that says Scorpio in the 6th house. I believe that's the 6th house. Let me look at it again. But like I said, if you take time and you tell her this stuff and show her this stuff, it'll help her out a lot. And I think it'll stop her from making like mistakes she's gonna make based on everything I've been saying in part 1 and part 2. She'll be smart enough to not even get involved with it. A lot of it, because nobody's gonna be perfect. Everybody's gonna make a mistake, but it won't be as bad as it would have been if she doesn't hear it or you don't tell her or whatever. Alright, so this is Astro Codex again. I really like that guy, so I want to deal with him. But he's saying, he is talking about Scorpio, but he says natural Pluto in his 6th house. Now, it's not natural Pluto in his 6th house of Scorpio, but Scorpio does rule. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, and both Scorpio and Pluto rule the 8th house. Because really, her 8th house is in her 6th house. And remember, the 6th house is all about home. Everything I said it was. Service, small children, things like that. Small animals. Now let's just say she popped up with a big animal, or her boyfriend popped up with a big animal. Like it's the same, you know what I'm saying? Like people try to get so technical. You know, they want to argue about everything. That's just silly. All that does is just waste time. Basically, animal. It's supposed to be a small animal, but basically it's animal in a 6th house. I mean, where I work at, like one day, I do my readings and stuff. So it was when I came home, but it said I would have some type of a situation with like a small dog or whatever it was, and it did. It was a small dog there. The dog was cool, but I actually stepped on his foot, and that dog went off. That dog was like he was cursing me out in dog language and stuff. He went off. That dog told my ass off. Well, it was funny. So when I got home and I did my reading, I said, "Oh shoot, that really happened. That dog cursed me out and shit." But like I said, getting back to the 3rd house, is a lot of times when a person becomes really sexually active, is because they weren't told that they have a purpose. They weren't told that they have a plan. They weren't told that they can have a career. They weren't told none of that stuff. So they don't have a motivation not to. That's why they get caught up in that. But if they have a motivation, they see their worth and stuff like that. People are not stupid. You'd be surprised. But if you don't make them, if they don't know their self-worth, they're not going to know no better. Because what guys do, they play mind games. And the first thing they try to do is they make a female feel less. Because when they can make her feel less, then they can make her feel like she has to do this and she has to do that, to whatever. They play the mind game. If a female is smart, she won't fall for it. So they asked Doja, because T.I. has said he takes his daughter or whatever to the gynecologist to make sure she's still a virgin. So people flipped out. They said, "Yo, why he doing that?" And they flipped out. So they asked Doja what she thought. And this is what she said. She said, "Well, obviously he's doing that because he loves her and he is the father. But he could at least consider how his daughter feels about that." So even that response was like really mature for like a young person to say. So to remember, the sixth house is about daily activities or daily duties. It could be your job, but it doesn't necessarily have to be your job, but it could be. So this is what Astro Codex is saying about Pluto in the sixth house, because Pluto rules Scorpio, and Scorpio is in the sixth house. So they say this type of person will have an intense or dark or hidden job. So he's equating a job with the sixth house, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a career type job. It could just be a daily duty you do in your own house, a daily activity, but it could be the job. So you would also have to take a quick look at the 10th house, see what's going on there, but we don't have to yet, because I noticed Capricorn is in the 8th house, and that is the job, even though Capricorn rules the 10th house. So it could very well be the job. That's interesting. But it could also be a job at the home, like what you see people out here on YouTube doing with the psychics and stuff like that. It could be a job coming from your house. But also remember, Scorpio does deal with a lot of esoteric stuff, a lot of hidden knowledge, astrology, tarot cards, but it also deals with sex, so that could also be something. Because when you get to the 8th house, you're no longer dealing with like a young teenager. It could be young teenager, but this could be like later on in life. Like this could be an adult now. So you got to remember that. But it could also be the teenager. You're not sure. As Pluto rules Scorpio in the 8th house, all jobs connected to death, sex, the unknown, and taboos are career possibilities for such a native. So they say to know what these jobs might be, try to know the planets aspecting natal Pluto or also present in the house, while also the house ruler and possible planets in the 10th house. But in her case, it's not just going to be the 10th house, it's also going to be the 8th house, because that's where Capricorn is, and Capricorn rules the 10th house. So they say no matter what job she chooses, it's still going to sound weird to other people, and therefore it may remain hidden. So now they say generally 6th house Pluto people do not like to serve other people and may have experienced childhood traumas with having to serve someone. And we already talked about that a little earlier in part 1. So a 6th house person with Scorpio or Pluto in the 6th house tend to refrain from volunteering of any kind. Now that's funny because the 6th house is about service. And they put up very strict borders in their duties and responsibilities at work. Well, you really can't do that if you work for somebody else. You can't put up strict borders and duties because depending on who you are. But generally, if you're just an employee, you can't tell them what you are or not going to do. But she may have her own business at some point in her life out of her home or out of some type of home situation. They say these type of people are constantly observing their co-workers or customers. Well, they already said that about her in the 3rd house. Always ready to retaliate when someone tries to use them or else out mishandle them. Well, that goes back to what we said about the retrograde, Saturn retrograde, because Saturn retrograde always thinks somebody's trying to bully them or abuse them. So they say that if their Pluto is adversely aspected, they are usually forced to work by their employers, and the work atmosphere is rather bad. So that's like they're trying to keep an eye on you, so they want you to work closer to them, or they got their managers watching you, or some crazy shit. But if you are working from home and these are your clients, you may have to deal with some difficult clients. So because you're dealing with Pluto and Scorpio, it'll be power struggles. But remember, this is in the sixth house of home. It's not just service, it's also home. So I hope she's not having power struggles with somebody else. But sometimes that might not be your twin. That might be your soulmate. Because a lot of times when you see that vertex, that could be a soulmate, not your twin. And I explained the difference in either part one or whatever. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back, because I did explain the differences. So sometimes people have to get that first relationship. Like what happened with me and my twin. Even though the universe brought us together, and maybe if I had been more not so upset, not so hurt, and maybe if I had been more like I used to be a long time ago, maybe she and I would have connected. But usually, even if you connect with your twin, it still goes back into separation. But because me and her didn't connect, she jumped in bed with that other guy, and she started having all them babies by him. But now that didn't work out too good. So she was trying to connect back with this energy, me. So that's what happens with twin flames. Like Thomas More, him and his twin, they get together, break up, get together, break up, get together, break up. But that's twin flame. That happens a lot. But I'm saying it again, what your daughter has that a lot of women don't have is she wants to communicate, she wants to talk and stuff like that. So that could be a plus. Because I think that's foolish. But this is, I'm mostly talking about America. But throughout the world, you got all these people that are supposed to be together, and they don't even communicate. So how the hell do you think you're going to stay together if you two don't communicate? So they get together, they have sex or whatever, and then start to have problems, and they break up. You got to communicate. You got to learn how to talk through problems and work it through. But that's what I keep trying to tell y'all. That's what bubblegum astrology is. It's fake. It's based on feelings, and the shit don't work. But one thing that is a warning about Gemini energy. See, Gemini doesn't like to go deep. Now, Scorpio can be a lot of power struggles, a lot of arguments, a lot of watery emotions. And Gemini would rather tap out because you don't want to deal with all that. And that's why when you see them double zeros, that's Uranus. See, Uranus will come out of nowhere. Uranus will be like, fuck this, I'm out. And you don't even think that was going to happen. Like it'll come out of nowhere because all her double zeros are connected to Gemini energy. Number one is Gemini energy. It's the Magician card. Like poof, I'm out of here. Like Puff the Magic Dragon. And then her double zeros with the Ascendant, Gemini again. So that's somebody that kind of like will be out of here. So I think they gave her a strong Gemini to try to deal with him or talk to him. But remember, Lilith took off. But according to her chart, it kind of looks like it'll be the guy that does the taking off. But I've been feeling that since part one. And it'll make her stronger. I just hate to see it because I know she really wants it. But it'll make her stronger though. But if it happens, she's not gonna really she's not gonna really she's not really gonna see a relationship like a long-term relationship with a man as a reality anymore. After it happens, it's gonna shatter her as far as that's concerned. But she'll probably get through it. So it kind of looks like she's going to be ready for the relationship, but when it gets to the home, it's going to have challenges, and it may go into separation. So that's why I say you gotta know them numbers. You gotta know how to know them numbers and stuff. That's why I say you have to have an expert do your natal chart. It's worth it, even if you only do it one time with that expert, but you need it. That's why I try to do it as thorough and as comprehensive as possible, because you really need it. Because otherwise, you're going through. It's like you're going through blinded. Like somebody else might do it, and you'll have some understanding, but not understanding like this. Because you gotta know the numbers, you gotta know numerology, you gotta know everything. This is not, like I said, this is not bubblegum astrology. That's like having letting a mechanic that's really not that good work on your car. Now you're gonna need this car for safety. Your family's gonna be in a car. You might be speeding one day and something might break or something because dude didn't know what he was doing. All right, now Sagittarius is in the seventh house, but Sagittarius represents like the more mature aspect of the relationship. Like that's why Sagittarius is opposite Gemini. Because Gemini is the immature. This is two people that jump in, they jump into bed, jump into sex, they jump in, but then they want to jump out. Whereas Sagittarius is like, nah, I want to be with you. We've been through hell together. I want to work this out. You see Sagittarius and Venus? And look at the Venus is 21, 21. Did you know that 21 is the end of the major arcana of the tarot cards? 21 is the world card, and that's Saturn energy. So this is definitely a karmic connection, but it's looking like now it's ready. So what she tried to accomplish in the fifth house, it gets solidified in the seventh house. But Sagittarius is later on. Like Sagittarius can represent getting back together after a breakup. Sagittarius can represent a second marriage or coming back together after the first marriage failed, but you got back together. But now you're more solidified. And Mars is that intensity, and it's that number 5 again. So her numbers on her chart are number 47 and number 5. And even number 50, but number 50 is really number 5 because that's 5 plus 0 is 5. So that's Leo love, that's the spirituality, that's Taurus energy, that's the Pope. Now, 29, if her 29 was a degree, it would be a karmic degree. It would be an anaretic degree. But that's not 29 degrees. That's 20 degrees and 29 minutes. But it's still giving you the same, like if you ever went to see, like one time I went to Atlantic City with my Kenyan girlfriend when I had a Kenyan girlfriend back in the day, and we went to Atlantic City and we just felt like hanging out, had a little bit of money, so we went in, we had dinner and to watch a show. Now, one of those performers in that show was an Elvis Presley impersonator, and he did a great job, unbelievably great job. And he did such a great job that when he got done performing, other people started performing. He was gone, but Elvis was gone. And about 30 or 40 minutes later, it came over the intercom. It said, Elvis has left the building. That shit was so fucking cool. Because here it is. He's imitating Elvis. You understand? He's imitating Elvis. But he was so much into his character that they still did it. Like, they wanted you to know that Elvis was no longer in the building. Like, because Elvis is so important. So everybody's got to know that Elvis is no longer in the building. Elvis has left the building. So that was a real good performance. Even though it was mimicking the real Elvis. So that's what this 29-minute does. It mimics the 29 degree. It's still anaretic. But like I said, a lot of people think anaretic is so problematic and all that, but it's not. Sometimes it's an indicator. See, Her 7th house is all about. See, this is a real karmic story going on here. Her and her twin flame. And you do see that they do end up together, but you could see that all through the chart. And to me, I think she's gonna be ready way before he is. But sometimes that's why I said when you really know this stuff, you see, I know human psychology. Now sometimes when you're ready, that's why it doesn't happen. Because you're ready. And sometimes if a person can't chase you, they're not gonna follow you. Now I'm not telling women to do silly stuff, because sometimes if you try to make your boyfriend jealous, you actually lose your boyfriend because he starts thinking you're a hoe. But you're not a hoe. You love him so much, you just want him to love you, and you think that's the best way to go about it. But he's looking at you like, damn, how can you do that with another guy when you know you're doing that right in front of me? You know I care about you, and you're a hoe. But you're not a hoe. But you're just doing something, you should, maybe it wasn't as smart as to get his attention. Now you don't got his attention. So you got to be real careful with that shit. But at the same time, you can't be so available that he takes you for granted. So it's a rough game. But the one thing you females have in your arsenal is not just your good looks and all that, but you also have communication. That's why you got to communicate. Sometimes you got to know when to swallow that pride a little bit and tell him, listen, I don't want to be, I was trying to be with you, but, I didn't know how to go about it or whatever. Because like I said, when I finally, see, I don't really play a lot of games. I never did. Like my moon sign is Capricorn. So when it comes to relationships, and plus my moon sign, I think it's coming right out the 8th house. It's coming. My moon sign is coming right out the 7th house and going right into the 8th. But it's right on the crust. It's right on the border. And it's Capricorn. So that's kind of serious for relationships and metaphysical stuff, the 8th house and mysteries and all that. Point being made is that so I was never going to be one to play games. So for me to have told my twin flame how I really felt about her, it took a lot for that to happen. It was very explosive. But again, when you're talking about Pluto and retrogrades and Scorpio and 8th house, and it's going to be explosive. So that shook her ass up. But I wanted to shake her ass up, because I wanted her to know I'm not about no games. If you're coming my way, you got to come real. All this stuff you doing is immature, it's childish, and you playing all these stupid games, playing mind games and all this stupid stuff. So if you ever came into my presence, you better come with the real. Otherwise, it ain't no sense. So it kind of shook her up, but I knew it was necessary, because I knew what I told her was going to shake her up for years to come. You understand? It's probably, now I told her that in August of 2016. Her ass is probably still shaking in 2019. So if I ever see her again, like, she's already gonna know, hey, this dude ain't playing. So 20 degrees is karmic. It's the world card. It's about endings. But this is a good ending. So that 20, so we're going to look at 2029. And then look at her Venus, 2121. Ain't that interesting? Or 33. Now remember, 33 could be Masonic. Or if it's a female, it could be Eastern Star. But it is going to be that secret society energy either way. Because Scorpio could be secret societies too. And then look at her Pluto, which is 22. I told you 22 is a twin flame number, 1111. But it's also the number of the people of God. And there go that number 47 again. So her 7th house looks really good. But what it looks like is you're going to have to go through intensity first. And it'll probably be some form of separation. But it is very intense. Alright, so give me a moment. Now we're going to look at the Sacred Scribe angel numbers. All right? 2029. So it's telling you to be honest about your inner passions, take positive action. This is all about her inner passion, her soul purpose, her natural light working abilities, because the world needs her. That's what they're telling her. Remember, I'm at Sacred Scribes, angelnumbers.blogspot.com. These are all angel numbers. Bring your natural talents and skills to the fore, as your unique abilities are greatly needed by the world. And that's why I chose the picture I chose for part 1. This is a prodigy. The world needs her. You gotta understand that. That's what I mean. We look at rich people all the time. We treat celebrities like they're so special. We treat rich people like they're so special, but they ain't no different than us. We all got gifts and stuff, but we treat ourselves low. Don't treat ourselves low. I'm not saying spoil your kid that your kid loses a touch of reality, but don't bully your kid that they don't never manifest who they really are. You were born with particular gifts, strengths, interests, and abilities, and now you're being prompted to fully utilize them as part of your soul purpose and mission. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. That's why I keep trying to tell you Doja, because she's with her man. She does her interviews with her man. It's supposed to be that way if you're a twin flame and you both have a purpose together, a union together. And for some reason, it takes people a long time to learn that. In my case, I just been hurt too much. I didn't want to go back. I love what I do. And don't nobody tell me when to move and not to move. I ain't got to worry about none of all that stuff. I don't want it. So I would have to be with somebody that understands that, because I'm not trying now to my earlier part of my life was all that lovey-dovey and sacrificing myself for somebody that ain't never going to be there for me. I don't want it. So I would have to have somebody that understands that. And if they understand that, we could get along well. Because like I said, if you really get it like a real person, it works itself out. And that's why I keep telling you all about Doja, because that's what she talked about. Because Sway said to her, when y'all go out, who pays? She said both of us. Sometimes I pay, sometimes he pays. But that's because she understands what I'm talking about. Then he said, and remember, I knew this about Doja just from studying her. I listened to that song and I knew that was a very creative person. That was not an average person. So believe me, I don't waste time on nada, because everything is sacred. Like a second is sacred to me. I don't waste time on shit. So then I studied her profile. Well, who is this Doja? Who could write a song like that? She's young. Who could do that? So then I studied her profile. So when I seen that she was on Sway, I already knew the type of mind I was going to meet, because I listened to the lyrics she wrote. And then I studied her profile. So I knew this ain't no average young chick. And I was not disappointed at all. I was actually, she inspired me, because she's about that. Like, we're not here for the fuckery. I have to say the word. Because a lot of people on this planet are just here for the foolishness. Break up, all the stupid stuff. Sleeping around, all the stupid stuff. I don't got time for that silly stuff. So like I said, I got no time for somebody that don't understand. Like, if you're really in my world, then be in my world. Because why am I going out of my way to show all this love and all the support for somebody who ain't going to show it back for me? That's stupid. So that's why I said I would never do that again. So you're dealing with people that understand. Like what Doja said. Sometimes I treat, sometimes he treat. Sometimes he do, sometimes I do. She understands that. And every time somebody asks her a question, she directed it back to her man. That's real shit. That's some Ashford and Simpson, if y'all know who that is, back in the day. And I mean, that's what they sung about, and they tried to represent that. I don't know if I think later on somebody cheated or something like that, but at least they were trying to represent that unity that's supposed to be there. So anyway, they're talking about the seventh house is going on, soul purpose, your mission, and it's obviously with that guy. Trust that you all have the tools and talents you need to fulfill your role. Angel number 2029 is telling you to pursue a spiritually based practice, and that's what you see going on her chart. Career or profession, or a heart-based service. So use your gifts to benefit yourself and others. And they use the word light working capacity. Trust that your angels and the universal energies are with you. So they say angel number 2029 also is telling you that if you have lost something of late, the universe is manifesting something positive and better to take its place. But that's what I already said if you guys were listening. I said it may be a separation, but by the time it gets to Sagittarius in the 7th house, this is let's go. Let's go. Said this may also relate to a situation and circumstance that may be finally coming to an end. But the ending is no more breaking up, no more childish behavior. We're now at the higher self is Sagittarius. It rules the 9th house. This is universal law, karmic law, everything at its best. It's an ending to the foolishness that was breaking us apart. So if you haven't never heard that song by Joe Jackson, Breaking Us Apart, listen to it and dedicate it to her 7th house. Because it's the ending of anything that will break them apart. But this may be later on in life, though. Maybe. Trust that a wonderful new beginning and or direction is coming, and you are encouraged to move forward in the direction you wish to go. And that'll be with her and her boo. Her and her boo. Like Doja. Oh! Alright? Now. So that was 2029 in Mercury. Why? Because she communicates with her boo. That's what anybody really wants. If you're talking love, you want somebody that talks to you. You don't want nobody that want to have secrets and you don't want to talk or nothing and shit. Who does that? East Coast females. Well, in my part of the East Coast, maybe not all of them. So that's what you got. A lot of passion with Mars. Mercury conjunct Venus. That's a lot of love, but a lot of communicating. And you see she had that even in her 3rd house, because the 3rd house is ruled by Mercury, which is Gemini. And Leo wants to talk. Leo wants to be there. Leo wants this to be real. That's why she's got Libra in her 5th house, ruled by Leo and ruled by the sun. See, even her son is in the 8th house. That's somebody that wants to bring out the mysteries. She wants somebody to talk to. That's why I said the best thing her moms can do is talk to her. That's what she wants. She's not stupid. Parents be cowards. They be scared to talk to their kid. Then you want to be mad when your kid fuck up. But was you talking to your kid? How you going to blame the kid? You got to blame yourself. Were you talking to the kid? Now, Pluto gives the transformation and power, all of it. But it's all real, it's all powerful. And it is the occult, it is the underworld. That's why I said you really have to know what's in her 8th house. Because that's Pluto. That wherever you see Pluto, Scorpio in her 8th house, you got to read that. Because that's a lot. It's all kind of stuff. But it's money, it's business, it's karma, it's inheritances, it is power struggles, it's the unknown, it's the supernatural. It doesn't stop. And that's all her. But not just her, but it's also her twin flame. So even at number 20 is Pluto energy. But remember, number 20 goes to number 2. So now we went to number 21, 21. Because that's a twin flame number 2. That's both of them. 21, 21. And remember, that's the world card. And the world card is a good card. The world is yours. But it's also about ending. In other words, it's over. No more breaking up. No more silly stuff. That's all I keep hearing in my head is Joe Jackson. Something keeps breaking us apart. That's a great song. Remember, it's 2 Joe Jacksons. You got Michael Jackson's father, Joe Jackson. I ain't talking about him. I'm talking about Joe Jackson. I'm the man. I'm the man. Come on. Am I that old? You guys don't know what I'm talking about. But listen, a lot of these young kids, they're going to go back to our music. Ha ha. And you're going to see a rebirth. Remember how John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd dressed up? That's how Joe Jackson dressed up on one of the greatest albums ever written. I'm the man, I'm the man. Alright. So we're looking at Archangel number 2121. But that's her gift. As long as she keeps communicating. Don't hide behind, you know, because some women let their pride get the best of them and they won't communicate and shit like that. I think you do yourself a disservice. Like, if you hurt me, I want you to know. Like, I don't have no problem telling you how I feel. I think you guys know that. You got to start to do that. Like, tell. Because how's a person going to change if you don't tell them? You just get mad and upset, and then you cry on your bed, or you start eating ice cream or cake, or you go talk to your girlfriend. Don't talk to the guy. He's the one that hurt you. He's the one. Talk to him. Let him know. Because that's the only way he's going to change. He needs you to help. Running away from the situation is not the answer, ladies and gentlemen. Let the end of 2019 and all of 2020 be the year of the lions, not the cowards, not the cowards. You don't want to run away, you want to run too. And give a person a chance if they fuck up. Don't just hurt them and then cheat on them and don't give them a chance. Give them a chance. Any real psychologist tells you sometimes relationships get better after you guys hurt each other. Because now you're more determined not to let that happen again. But you got to learn how to talk. Number 2121. Remember, 21 is triple sevens. Remember that. Angel number 2121 is encouraging you to learn how to trust your own inner knowing and heed its message. But remember where 2121 is with Venus. So it's not just your inner knowing, it's also your mate's inner knowing. Do the work to know yourself better. In other words, do the work to know both of you better. Honestly know the good and bad in yourself, but really honestly know the good and bad in both of you. Identify your path in life, but it's both of them. It's both their paths, according to the chart. Know your true values, principles, goals, and needs are. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You have to get to the point where you know you're supposed to be with this person. You're not supposed to be without this person. The more you realize that, the more you'll begin to work that into reality. Be honest with yourself. See, you can't lie. You can't lie. You got to be with that person. That's why I say what happens, people don't talk to each other. They just break up and then you want to be with somebody else and you just do silly stuff. But over and over again, you're supposed to be with this person. That's why I'm trying to tell you, when it's a twin flame situation, even if that person is acting like they don't want to be with you, what they're really saying is, I don't want to be hurt again. I don't want to go through that pain again. Like when you're dealing with a Leo, our heart is everything. So that's why I said people have to understand that. And some people say, well, I don't know, it's so hard. But I don't know. Maybe you just, you know what I say, maybe you're a coward. Like, I don't know. If it's meant to be, it's like meant to be. That's how I look at it. Who can stop anything that's meant to be? So if you got somebody tapping out, it's because they ain't got the heart for it. Because that's how I look at it. Like, oh, you could lay around with somebody else, but you ain't got the heart to work out with me? How can I take you seriously? And they're looking at you, well, you should have did this for me. You should have did that for me. And I'll be like, nah, I've been doing that since I've been on this planet. I'm not doing that no more. So it's one of them things. And if I make it tough, like I said, because I don't want to go through that, you know, it's too much time being given to somebody that don't deserve it. And sometimes that's why you find yourself with a soulmate, because you ain't ready for your twin yet. Your twin, that's something galactical. That's like the greatest power in the universe is the twin flame, you know. And sometimes a person ain't ready, and they need more practice. They need to get their heart broke. They need to be played out. They need to be bullied by the world and stuff like that. Because then when they see you again, like I said, that's that Sagittarius energy. When they see you again, it's going to be like they're going to try their best not to fuck around. And like, I'm not saying somebody's going to be perfect. I never say they're going to be perfect, but I don't need to be taken through that shit no more. You know, I've been there, done that. Sometimes with these twin flames, one will be older than the other person. So the older person ain't trying to go through that shit no more. The younger person might go through that shit. But by the time you see that person again, they're not going to really want to be with that fuckery again. And I got to say the word because that's what it is. So when you see that person again, they'll be more inclined to talk. Because that's all I wanted her to do the first time was to talk. See, my twin is highly smart, very smart. But she had this, whatever it was. Like, I understand indigo children and crystal children and sensitive children. I understand that. When I say children, these are still adults. We say children, but they're adults. But I understand why she may have felt a certain way, or been a certain way. And she was expecting me to be some type of catalyst and, her knight in shining armor. But I think she still would have shitted on me. Yeah, I've been on the planet long enough to know that. And I was like, nah, man, I'm sick of being that person for people. I'm not going to, like, I'll do it for stuff like this. But to me, I got a lot of love, I help people and stuff, but it's still different. It's not like it's not my girlfriend. I had always said that, like, I would never, like, what I do for other people, I would never do that in a relationship. I expected my relationship to be my light and stuff. But the universe always has a way of putting its foot up your ass. Just so you guys know that. So what I said I wouldn't put up with, that's exactly what the universe was like, yeah, that's what you're going to put up with. I was like, no, I'm not. So you're in war. But like, I study spirituality. When you study scripture, you see like Jacob fighting the angel and stuff like that. So you really have these fights with God and stuff, like the universe. It's like, in like the book of Job, same thing. It's like you got to go through this war. So number 21 is say, be honest with yourself. View your life objectively. Use your awareness to move forward by making the right choices for the future. But remember, this is all with her Venus in the 7th house. It's all about her relationship with her boo, with her twin. Begin to understand yourself, but it's really saying begin to understand yourself and your twin and your life journey, because that life journey is supposed to be together. And read the signposts ahead, which will become clearer and clearer. Well, the signpost is your natal chart. And there it is. Now, she gave me a list of what she wants me to go over, which I've done a lot of, but I'm going to repeat that list at the end of this video. The person that requested this reading. So, angel number 2121 is telling you that your thoughts are like seeds that are about to sprout and are a sign that things are going to be going to your desired direction. Well, that's what we said earlier. I think we said the same thing in the 6th house, if I'm not mistaken. No, this is a love meant to happen. I'm just letting you know. But the best thing she can do is just talk. She should never be afraid to tell that guy exactly how she feels. Y'all ladies got to stop that bullshit. Y'all females be on bull. How's a guy going to change if you don't tell him how you feel? He don't know. Dudes are stupid. You be better off telling a guy. Like I'm telling you, it's in your interest to tell a guy. You say, well, I don't feel I should have to tell him and blah, blah. Sometimes you got to help them because guys are not that smart. You females are way smarter than guys. I'll tell you that for a fact. I'm real smart, but you're still smarter than me. So it says there may be some wonderful opportunities or new directions to take that will lead to fulfillment and personal happiness. But again, that's by you communicating. The message is to keep the faith, knowing the universe and your angels are behind you all the way. So the universe and your angels are going to make sure that your 7th house becomes a reality. You and your boo, your twin flame together. Angel number 2121 reminds you to be grateful for all the blessings in your life and for those yet to come. You are responsible for your own thoughts and actions, and the things you think, say, and do will come back to either bless you or haunt you. So that's why she's got to be very, very careful, because they're going to have Mercury, and Mercury rules Gemini. So whatever she's trying to do in the 3rd house. So they're trying to tell her even stuff she does at a young age in the 3rd house, because that's a young age, can mess her up in the future. So she's got to really watch, how she talks. Don't gossip. Watch that manipulation. Don't try to manipulate your brother and your sister, siblings. If you have a brother or sister, siblings, or cousins or whatever, don't do it, because it's going to come back to haunt you later on. Remember, Gemini is opposite Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the later years. So now remember, this is Archangel number 2121. Only send out the highest and most positive energies, because these are going to come back. She's a very karmic person, very Saturnian person. 21 is Saturn. It's the world card, Saturn energy, Saturn and Capricorn energy. So it'll even affect your career, because Saturn rules Capricorn, which is your career. So if you express an attitude of gratitude, you will manifest these blessings in your life. So very, very powerful. Again, Pluto is transformation. It is sexual power. It is mystery. It is secrets. Very transformative. That number 47 is right there again. So remember those numbers I told you, 47 and 5 and 22 and all these others. She's got strong numerology on her chart. Give me one moment. I gotta put this video up for upload. And I don't want to hit pause. Oh, look at that. David Spade on Ellen. Two very witty comedians. A lot of you guys forget Ellen used to be a stand-up comedian, and she's still very, very funny. Very, very witty person. See, Steve Harvey should have took that. I guess he thought he didn't need it, but he should have did it. He should have took, because he was on the same channel as Ellen. He should have really worked that to his advantage. Because those are two witty people. Like certain people you want to work with if you're a comedian, Ellen is one of them, and so is Roseanne Barr. Two of the most wittiest people in the history of comedy. See, I don't mind being a groupie. If I think you're hot, I don't mind being a groupie. Otherwise, get below me. Get below me, you mediocre. You mediocre. But when you're hot, I'll admit it, I don't mind being like a groupie to somebody that's really up there. All right. All right, I'm getting ready to upload this video. Give me a second. So this is part 1, but I don't think I'm going to put part 1. I don't think. Give me a second. Just give me a minute. I'm trying to think. Oh, let me see. So she's a prodigy. So you got a very special prodigy. This could really turn out really good. Like I said, I think if most teens and if they knew, they wouldn't get caught up in the stuff they get caught up in and stuff. They just don't know, and parents don't really do it. They don't really tell them. People are too caught up in third dimension. Don't be. This is just a stepping. This is, even if you was a Christian, even the Bible tells you don't take this world as serious. Like, they really take this world to the full, and that's when they make their biggest mistake. They lose spirituality. They lose everything. But if it's not spirituality, then make it metaphysics. But don't lose that. That's your power. Take back your power, like Archangel Raziel tells you to. Take back your power. All right, now give me another second. I'm going to email this part 1 over to the person who requested it. I was hoping to get lucky. Because sometimes if I type the person's name in, but she has a unique, it's not necessarily a unique email, but I was hoping I could type in, like, and it would come up, but it didn't yet. But I can find it. That's easy to do. Give me a moment. All right. I'll be right with y'all. Just trying to get all this. This is the part of Gemini, the multitasking. I remember one time I worked in corporate, but this was around 2007. And I always thought, because I'm really like a corporate person. I thought I would do great in corporate, but I hated it. Because there was so much backbiting and so much sneaky shit and all kind of crazy shit. I was like, nah, I don't like that. Oh, I'm a corporate type of guy as long as I don't have to work in a corporate environment. All right. Like Damon Wayans said, people, the concept of people is a nice concept, but people mess that concept up. All right. And that's what Doja was saying. Doja was like, I hate interviews. I hate being around people and shit. That shit was so funny. But that's Lilith. That's totally Lilith. Because Lilith be like, don't make me have to kill you. That's why on this natal chart, you saw the number 9. That's Virgo. That's the Hermit card. That's Virgo energy. But the Hermit will go out in front of people, but he has his own way of looking at stuff. The number 12 is the Hangman. He doesn't like coming out in front of people. But I haven't seen 12 on her chart yet. It might have been there. I just didn't see. I'm going to look again. But all right. Now give me a moment. One more thing I got to put on this video before I send it to her. Well, 2 more things. But I'm almost done. See, like I said, what people do with their natal chart, this is like the most important thing, especially when it's done by somebody like me. No disrespect to nobody else, but it's got to be an expert. They got to know what they're talking about. But people, they like to touch and feel, and they give up so easily because they're so third dimensional. Like, they're looking for the stars and stuff, but that's why I said it's bubblegum astrology. Because if you really were looking for the stars, you would take this shit seriously. But it's like when you go in churches, there's a lot of spiritual power in Christianity, but people just want to stay third dimensional. Spiritual, like Christianity is way higher than third dimension. Like, this is the Messiah. What are you doing? What are you talking about? But they stay third dimensional, and they don't touch, they can't touch it, feel it, taste it, hear it, or see it, so they give up. And that's the worst thing you should do. You gotta learn how to let this raise your vibration, raise your consciousness. Don't stay third dimensional. Especially like this female, she has so much to offer, but I know she knows it already. Like, but if you don't know it, you're not gonna help her. Like, you gotta know it. You gotta be right there with her. You gotta be like right supportive and shit. And that's where the power is gonna be. And that's why I say you got people like Michael Jackson. Like, look what he did. Look at like, it's amazing. Like, you could take anybody and just look at the bad. And I'm not saying you should minimize the bad, but don't you know, I think that's effed up. Don't try to ruin a person just because they made mistakes. Like, they gotta pay for their mistakes, but don't try to ruin their legacy and shit. Like, what the? And I mean, why are you only focusing on certain people like R. Kelly, Michael Jackson? What about Mick Jagger and everybody else? If you're really going after corruption, to go after everybody. Like, stop the racial show, stop the BS, okay? Because we're sick of you guys with the BS. We're sick of that racial bullshit. And if you're gonna go after everybody, okay? Because when you start turning over rocks, you're going to find a whole lot out for everybody, not just certain people. All right. So now let me open up the other. I said one more thing, and that's it. All right. And it's funny because, like, hell is one of the tools that the Divine Mother uses. When she goes to war, one thing she does, she uses windstorms and hail and shit like that. So, like I said, when you're connected, you'll see that if you're looking for it. Because it'll be little signs that the universe will tell you who you really are. But a lot of people don't want to accept it. But the mother always came in windstorms and hail and stuff like that. Even in John chapter 3, it talks about the wind. Because it's talking about the mother. She comes in a windstorm. And hail and all other stuff. Hail, Mother Mary, hail. And that's what y'all say, Hail Mary. Y'all actually say that. Thank you. I'm glad she brought me that. Because I would have forgot that when that came inside my head and I just repeated it, that was the mother. Hail Mary, Mother of Grace. So that's how you know I know what I'm talking about. Even the name Haven. Haven is heaven. Like, Haven is heaven. And don't get upset because nobody knows what I'm talking about, but certain people know what I'm talking about. So you don't get upset. Because people get upset for stupid reasons. Only certain people know what I'm talking about. The people that need to know what I'm talking about know what I'm talking about. All right. So here we go. Well, there you go, boys and girls. So I just sent out part 1 to the person who requested this. Or I'm just looking over a couple other things and I'll be right back. All right, I'm just trying to check a couple of things out because I'm trying to multitask. Because one thing like Gemini's and stuff, and she's like that too. but they're masters of multitasking and stuff. That's why I said just let her just be hers. Like she's gonna be awesome. I already know because her natal chart is just like mine. I know I'm awesome. So you gotta have guidance to make sure everybody's safe and not harmful and shit. But other than that, believe me, she won't disappoint. And that's why I keep trying to tell y'all, just look at Doja. I mean, she's not gonna be perfect enough, but look at what she's done so far, and she's young. Imagine what she's gonna do. Like, all right, just give me a moment. I'm trying to log into my other thing. Like I said, I'm multitasking. All right, I'm almost there. Just gotta log in here, and then I might hit pause real quick. But I'm trying to do this. You know what's crazy? So I looked up the word taboo, and it says collinsdictionary.com. Now I just told y'all about my name. Told y'all my name was supposed from my father. He didn't want me to be George the Third, so he changed my name. So I should be George the Third. He changed my name, and then he gave me the name Collins. But the hospital fucked it up. So it was Collins with 2 L's, but the hospital messed it up into 1 L. And that is there's a Collins dictionary that I just found this out tonight. That's how I said everything is universal. Everything you see and hear, everything is divine timing by the universe. The more you learn how to trust into that, the stronger you're going to become. Just like if you were a Christian, you would realize that God's in control. If you're a real Christian, otherwise you're a fake Christian. You're just sitting around acting like it, but you don't really believe it. So that's why you don't see no power. Then you think something's wrong. It ain't nothing wrong with God. God's in full control. The universe is in full control, but either you believe it or you don't. It's that simple. The more you believe it and act in harmony with it, the stronger your family becomes, the stronger you become, the stronger your relationship with your kids becomes. Because the more y'all believe it, the more y'all demonstrate it, the more you're going to see it. It's not that hard. And then you get mad at me because I tell you the truth and you don't want it because you want this fuckery and this fake stuff, and then your whole life is just a sham. And then when you die and you have to go to the source, and then you don't like what the source is saying and where he's about to send you, that's not really his fault. Because you had a whole lifetime to be obedient and reap the benefits, and you chose not to. That's what Matthew chapter 7 is all about. So I try to help people avoid Matthew chapter 7 by not being a fake person. Now let's get back to this collinsdictionary.com, because it uses the word taboo. So they say Collins co-build. Collins co-build. Remember I told you build, the architect, that's all Capricornian or Saturnian, the architect, the build. And that's all like the 10th house, Saturn, Capricorn. But whenever you're dealing with the buildings, that's also 12th house, Pisces or Neptunian, because it's got buildings. So taboo is an objective. Now they say Cancer. See, now they're going with Cancer. Now remember, my moon sign is Capricorn, coming out the 7th house into the 8th house. My true north node, my north node is in Cancer. So now you got Collins or whatever, two L's, Collins. But they killed me. The hospital took one out, Collins. I still remember my mother rushing me to the hospital when I fell out my bunk bed, top shelf. And my mother rushed me to the house. I still remember that day like it was yesterday. I was a little ass kid. I was barely breaking 5 years old. I still remember that day like it just happened. Cancer or the mother. Cancer is a taboo. And plus, the hospital, where we're from, the hospital, our name, our family name has always been on that hospital. Like our family name. But we're not part of that. I'm just trying to show you this is how the universe works. So Cancer is a taboo subject. People are frightened to talk openly about it. Now, why did that happen? Cancer is a taboo. Let me tell you why. I told you why I'm at the www.collinsdictionary.com. Why is all this important? Because right now you're seeing my father, who named me Collins after Gary Collins, but the hospital fucked it up and lost one of those L's. But it was necessary because that's how I became a master teacher with the numerology of 11 in my name. Now, building is the 12th house. Buildings is in the 12th house. But the hospital uses our name and always has. But we're not connected to that. So whoever those people are that are responsible for that hospital or whatever, we're not connected to those people as far as I know. But that's the hospital I was in when I was a little kid and I fell out the bunk bed. See, all this is mama. Like, I don't know how, because this may have a connection to this woman who requested this reading. But I still remember them rushing me to the hospital. I fell out the bed, hit my head on the bunk bed and whatever. That's probably where I got my psychic abilities from. And they rushed me to the hospital, and I remember they kept telling me, don't go to sleep, don't go to sleep. I was a little kid I still remember it. They're rushing me through this dark ass hospital because I hate hospitals because they're scary. I don't get scared that easily, but I hate hospital like the clown in the hospital chasing the people, killing the people in the hospital. I hate it. And they rushed me through. And they kept telling me, don't go to sleep, don't go to sleep. And I remember it was early in the morning, and they rushed me through the hospital. And they're telling me, don't go to sleep, don't go to sleep. And I'm going to sleep anyway because I'm tired, I don't care. And they're rushing me through. And I was in the hospital there. Like, it was the darkest moment in my life, but it was also the best because everybody was bringing me gifts and shit. But I was in the hospital by myself, and a nurse would come in there early in the morning and stab me with the needle. And I'm like, why the hell do they come in there early in the morning and stab you with the needle and shit? Why don't they come in the daytime? This shit is scary. So now it says Cancer is taboo subject and people are frightened to talk openly about it. But I'm trying to tell you that this female we're talking about will be very taboo, and you better get used to it. Because she's going to be taboo, and if you don't get, she's going to sneak it anyway. So you can act like it don't exist, but it's still going to exist because she's going to sneak it. But she won't sneak it if you stop being scared. She's only sneaking it because you don't want to talk about it. Talk about it, she'll stop being sneaking around with it. So now I was saying, should I take taboo out the title? And this is the Cancer is taboo subject, and people are frightened. Cancer is the mother, the 4th house. Cancer, the mother, or my true north node, Cancer. So the mother is saying, don't take it out the title. And if they try to say some stuff, because the word taboo is not bad. It's just that people don't want to talk about it because it's taboo. Well, then people need to stop being afraid. Because even they say that the topic of addiction remains something of a taboo. And people don't want to talk about addiction because they don't want to talk about it. But it doesn't mean it's bad. See, people just think it's bad. But the word taboo is not bad. All right. So Mama has spoken. I'm going to do what Mama says to do. Sometimes Mama brings the drama to get people talking. Oh, come on. Why did that have to happen? One of my browsers, they were like together and it popped out by itself. And I hate when it does that. So I exit out. Well, let me just see. All right, here we go. But then it was supposed to like be a picture, but then it went to when your browser messes up or whatever, or your browser just goes blank. But I got there, so I'm good. All right, so now my two masters teachers and why love frequencies are uniting couples, new life. That's on my other channel, but it's 44 views and 4 likes. So 444 is the Archangel number because remember I'm Archangel. Revelations and Prophecies 444, but so is Thomas More is 444 too. So I told you I talked to him a lot through email. So I'm gonna take this picture and then I'm gonna send it over to him because he probably needs to hear this video. All right, come on, man. I keep trying to move ahead, but the browsers keep going blank. No, but that's because of technology and shit. That's not like a message or anything. Because somebody said, well, maybe it's a message. No, it's not a message. It's just technology. They want me to upgrade my browser, and I don't want to. Because my browser, they should be, it's IE. My browser is IE, but they don't want to deal with IE. They want to deal with other browsers, and I don't want to do that. Sometimes you got to be stubborn. Sometimes. Not always, though, but sometimes you got to be. Come on, bro. Y'all are holding me up. See, this is why you can't multitask, because there's always some BS. But that's how the universe is. This is when you see people breaking their computers and stuff. That's why, because they know they're being F with. Because the universe is just playing games, which is what the universe does. And sometimes you got to be tough and learn how to toughen it up and fight. So now I have a video where I said why most will eternally burn in hell, Matthew 7, verse 1 to 21. And somebody disliked it. So Lord, please make sure that one of the people burning in hell for disliking the video. Thank you. In Jesus' name, amen. What I said is spiritual, Bible based, but people pick and choose what they want. So a lot of stuff you say, they don't know Jesus said it first. Who do you think said hell first? A lot of your guys don't know what's hell. You can't pick and choose what you want. You gotta learn what the universe is telling you so you don't end up in those places. But these people want to do what they want to. So thank God for people that aren't afraid to go taboo. All right. So that's it. All right. So I'm almost done. Bear with me, people. It's just one of me. I do so much for one guy. All right. But that's the gift of multitasking. Now I think I took the part 1 part out. I thought I did. Because I still see it over here, but sometimes it does that. I just gotta look at this one. But I hope I took it out. If not, I gotta take it out now. All right. Okay, I just wanted to make sure it is out. All right. But that's how you know when you deal with phonies, because they be so afraid of the universe. Don't be afraid of the universe. The universe is trying to help you. See, the whole spirituality, Christianity, all that stuff is trying to help you, but people want to stay third dimensional, and you keep fighting against it. But you can't. You're not going to win. And then, like I said, when that judgment is adverse because you didn't do what you were supposed to, you're going to have problems that you can't get out of. You got to understand, like, universal contracts and all that shit. This is the stuff you guys are ducking in the third dimension, but you're going to regret it. That's why I said sometimes, like, the young ones, they're trying to tell you too. Even your young ones are trying to tell you, but then you try to silence the young ones and shit. You're not going to win. You're going to pay for it. We're not the bad guys. We're trying to wake y'all up to what really going on. Stop standing in the Matrix. The Matrix was designed to kill you. The Matrix was designed to send you into eternal damnation for eternity. That's why they use words like demon and democracy, all that shit. You better wake up. Because once you get there, you can't get out. So stop bullying us. Stop trying to trade my day. Like, my day will always be happy because I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to. I'm actually going against the grain. Be glad for people like that are in the taboos and fighting and all that shit. Be glad for the Scorpio type people and the Uranus people and all and the rebels and shit. Be glad. Should be thanking God for people like us. Not just me, because there's a whole lot of us. All right. Give me one moment, please. I know. It's tough when you're by yourself, man. Taking on the whole world. I saw, y'all know who Bane is? Batman and Bane. So Bane thought he was beating up Batman, but it was Superman in Batman's costume and stuff, and he kicked Bane's ass and shit. That's us. You think we're gonna go? We're not going nowhere. We're gonna grow. We're Superman in Batman's costume, and Batman is all about the caves and the unknown and stuff like that. We ain't going nowhere to butter. We don't die, we multiply. Oh, just give me a second. I gotta send this out. See, I like to do it in the energy. I know how energy works. So I'm just trying to do it now in the energy, real time. All right, who else? Who else? All right. I think I did it. All right, one other thing. I gotta ship this over to Timor. Email it over, rather. It cracks me up when somebody thinks they can talk against something as powerful as scripture. That's just stupid. You can disagree, but you gotta, you got a right to your opinion, but you gotta be careful. because you're dealing with deities that are way, way, way more powerful than you, and they will determine where you go from here. So you gotta be a little careful when you're trying to disrespect. That's how you know you're dealing with somebody that has no spiritual understanding, because they think they're dealing with a human. You're not dealing with a human when they're speaking from scripture. All they're doing is repeat what's already been said. That's why that arrogant attitude can get you effed up for eternity. And you won't be smiling when that fire starts. Alright. So let me get back. One more thing. Alright. So we're winding down. Now, there you finally see the 12. I was telling you all about the 12. Now, this is interesting. This is very, 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 very interesting. Because, see, with Capricorn in the 8th house, the Capricorn is career and reputation. But this is how you know she's going to be highly psychic. That's what I'm talking about, the extrasensory perceptive gifts. ESP gifts, and then clairvoyance, clairsentience, and all the clairs. Because she's got Capricorn in the 8th house. I mean, that's your career. Capricorn rules the 10th house of career and reputation. So she will definitely have a career one way or another in the supernatural. Now, whether it's in the home or not, it might be because her Scorpio that rules the 8th house is in the 6th house. And that could be daily activities or daily duties. And it's usually somehow connected to the home. So that could be somebody working from home. And when you go to her 10th house, she's got Pisces there, which is again is spiritual. See, on a natal chart, the mysteries are always associated with the 8th house and the 12th house. And in her 12th house, she's got Taurus, again showing you that she's going to be making money from 12th house or Pisces or these mysteries. And Pisces is somewhat spiritual as well. So that's where it gets interesting. Because this is what I'm saying. She wants to communicate. Whenever you see Sun, like in the 8th house, or Sun in Scorpio, this is somebody who wants to take things that are hidden and things that are dark, and they either want to reveal them to somebody, talk about them, reveal them some type of way, or they're not afraid of like what other people, like I say is weird, or things that might other people might not want to have anything to do with or talk about, or say that's weird, or you freak them out, creep them out. But she's not going to necessarily be afraid of that. So again, you have a career in solving these mysteries. And when you deal with the 8th house, like I said, you have to read your free report on the 8th house, because it's everything. It's anything supernatural, mystical, forbidden knowledge, esoteric. Anything will be there. Alchemy, geometry, alternative medicines. It's all there, but it's also sexuality, obsession, like I said, power struggle, stalking. But the point being made is these are the people you'll be helping. Now remember, number 12 is the Hermit. And if you notice, that's the only location where you have a 12 on anywhere on your natal chart. Oh no, you got it with Juno too. Now that's interesting too. That's real interesting. So not saying she'll ever do this, but you do have certain spiritual locations where you'll have certain people walking around like the priestess. I mean, you do, like, they just don't go all out with it. But even when you go to church, you got people walking around, and you got the pastor, the reverend, you got the deacon. So they're titles too, but it doesn't have the same mystical appeal. Like there's a lot of like organizations, like even like the Universal Life Church. Like a lot of those people might walk around with the robes on and things like that. But wherever you go, because that number 12 is more or less dealing with the people. That's why when I told you about that number 33. See, when you're using the number 33, that could be like secret societies, can be Freemasonry, things like that. And anywhere where you see Aquarius or Aquarius energy, like I believe it was like believe it's number 14, which is the star card, and that's Aquarius energy. So again, these are the people see, the number 12 are the people that don't want no part of, say, mainstream. So it's looking like she's going to be like a light to them. That's that whole point of the sun. And like you have people, so the number 14, like I said, let me make sure. So the number 14 is an Aquarius. It's actually Sagittarius energy. It's the Temperance card, which is Sagittarius energy. But you still see Aquarius over there, but we'll get to it. So the number 17 would be the Aquarius energy, which is the star card. So like if you were like a Seventh-day Adventist, you would talk a lot about now I can't believe I forgot that woman's name. That's when you know you burnt your mind out. Like a lot of mental work will burn that mind out. Ellen G. White. So she would be like a light to a lot of Seventh-day Adventists. Ellen G. White, Ellen G. White, Ellen G. White. So when you're looking at her house, where you see number 12, you see it again. So she's kind of like a light to those people. And that number 30, you could break number 30 down to number 3. That's the Empress card. And the Empress is like the mother raising the children. Like the Empress is in the earth. Remember earlier we were talking about the earth and all that? But what that's symbolizing, it could be the literal earth connection, but it's also when you're cultivating these people. because that's what Ellen G. White was. Like I said, and Ellen G. White was very powerful. Also with like I said, at number 33. See, that's like Freemasonry and secret society. But one time with the Seventh-day Adventists, members were starting to lean more and more to secret societies and Freemasonry. So it was becoming a problem. So one of the members, Ellen G. White, wanted to talk to him personally, privately and personally, because she felt it was becoming a problem to that religion. So when he met with her, because like a lot of Freemasons, they really feel like they got the real knowledge and they got secret knowledge and they're smarter than you. And they really ain't trying to hear what you got to say. I'm not saying all of them are like that, but I've heard this many times. And they just feel like they got the real knowledge, the hidden knowledge, and they don't need to listen to nothing you talking about. Because they feel like you listening to some deceptive stuff and you don't even know what you talk. So they don't got no respect for you. So she said she was trying to talk to him, and the whole time she was trying to talk to the man, she could tell he wasn't listening. He really didn't care. He didn't care because first off, she's a woman, and he didn't feel like a woman should be teaching him. And then second off, he felt like he was a Freemason. He knew the real stuff, and she didn't know what she was talking about. So when she noticed he wasn't listening to nothing she said, she did a Freemasonry hand sign. And when he saw that sign, that hand sign she made, he bowed down. Because he knew if she knew that sign, she had to be on some real shit. And from then on, his whole attitude changed. Now, I'm telling you that because you got the number 33 on his chart, and you see the 12 with the sun in the 8th house with the career. So she's going to be a light to these type of people. And the number 12, like I said, is Neptune, the stranger card. These are the people that don't want to be in society. Like they'll meet with people to think like them or act like them, or people like the 8th house is all about secrets and hidden stuff. And the 8th house, it'll be stuff. It'll be right in front of you, but it'll still be hidden. So she'll be like an Ellen G. White to those type of people. And again, like I said, you're talking later on in life. We're not talking about the little girl now. We're talking about as she gets older. This is going later on in her chart. Now, I told you that Ellen G. White made that hand sign that made that guy shut up and respect her for the authority that she had. When you see that 25, just like Jesus Christ was born on the 25th, and it's not just Jesus Christ born on the 25th, according to their history, but it's also Saturnalia. And also, if you study even deeper, it has a connection to Osiris of Egypt. So that 25 is next to that K is healing. So I'm telling you, so she'll have that type of authority. Like I told you, like she has to be careful how she even thinks. Because say she's mad at somebody and she's thinking mad, bad things can start to happen to that person. That 25 is universal law. Universal law. And these are the secret sciences that we're not aware of. Just like when you kept hearing, they kept saying the word magic, magic, magic. And they say like people like Ellen G. White was known for doing stuff like that. Just like Benny Hinn talks about a woman, I forget her name. I think her name is Catherine. And the way Benny Hinn talks about that woman, nothing but respect. And I've heard a little bit about her. I studied her a little bit. And she was doing a whole lot of supernatural stuff that you won't be able to explain. You won't be able to explain from human reasoning. Because these are people who have lived many lifetimes and they have connections to say, I just call it source, because any power comes from source. You can call it whatever you want. Even if you read the book of Job, chapter 1 and 2, Satan couldn't do anything without getting God's approval. So any power comes from God. So I just say source. And it's not just that K for healing, Chiron, that's not just her getting healing. But you do heal. When you're helping people heal, you can heal yourself as well. But it's also she's going to be healing people. So her career is basically 8th house, and it may be something she's doing out of her home or out of something she sets up throughout, the course of her life. Because I know a female right now that's talking about building a center, supernatural center. So she'll be like a light to these people, but again, it's still gonna be somewhat hidden. And most people that do work like this, like they have to be really good with keeping confidential information. But what we learned so far is she will have secrets. But I told you she's like the high priestess. See, that's what I'm saying. Catherine for Benny Hinn, she was like a high priestess. She was definitely like a Mother Mary. And then Ellen G. White for the 3ABN, same thing. And then not for all Catholics, but the Catholics have not Mother Teresa, but Angeline. I think her name is Angelica, Mother Angelica. For the Catholics, Catherine Kuhlman is Benny Hinn. And then Mother Angelica for many Catholics. And see, when you know how the universe really runs, that's why you had a Catholic church. But then Benny Hinn had the woman was named Catherine. But a lot of times when they tell you stuff like that, they're trying to tell you the connection. Just some people don't know how the universe is run. But with etymology, because Benny Hinn, anybody that knows Benny Hinn, he has a deep reverence for the Catholic Church. But most of these high-ranking Christians do, even if they consider themselves of a Protestant faith, they still like even if you take Jesus is Lord, Kenneth Copeland. He's big on the Catholic. He even went back. He's one Protestant that went back to the Catholics. Kenneth Copeland said that the Reformation was over with, and he went back. But that is, just so you know, that is a Catholic agenda to take every Protestant religion and bring it back to the Catholic faith. That is an agenda. So you have a lot of people who claim to be Protestants and from the Reformation, and they're really secret Catholics. So I thought I'd bring that up because you are talking about secrecy right now in the 8th house. So now you're beginning to see the power again. Now the 9th house is the higher self. Now they keep showing the number 30, which is a form of number 3. So we'll look around for that number 30. So just give me a moment. We'll go to Writing the Beast first. WritingTheBeast.com usually takes you into the Bible. Well, 30. Well, no, I don't want to go there because 30 is like a Judas. I don't think we're talking about Judas energy here. Let's just look around first. So they're saying 30. I went to Writing the Beast, representing the perfect balance of the cosmic organization, Kabbalistic, the Cabal. The numbers associated with the letter lamed in the form of sickle to express the maturity of the crop. But that kind of makes sense. Well, see, that's the Empress. Remember I said, he said to express the maturity of the crop. That's the Empress. That's what she does. She's for growing. When you see the Empress, she's usually out in nature, growing, either helping children grow or the crop to grow. So they said the number 30 is connected to the number 12 card of the tarot, the Hangman. That's crazy, and that's exactly what you see. This is how you know somebody put all this together. Somebody higher than us, because that's what it is. It's 12 and a 30. So it totally proves what I just said. So those she'll be attracting people that normally would be considered outcast, or people to keep to themselves, and you never know what's going on. But they'll be looking up to her the way Benny Hinn looks up to Catherine Coleman, the way a lot of Catholics look up to Mother Angelica, and the way a lot of people with Seventh-day Adventists look up to Ellen G. White. And when you see that 25, that's universal law. Like I said, I know exactly what it is, but if I say it, people ain't gonna accept it anyway, because people want to stay dumbed down and third dimensional. They don't want to accept who they really are. They don't want it. But you gotta understand it. First off, you don't have to believe it or whatever. But Benny Hinn's ministry is known for doing all kind of powerful miracles and stuff like that. Like let's just say you say, well, I know for a fact this one was fake or that one was fake. Okay, maybe they were, but it's still tons of powerful. Like, you can't deny it. Like, people just, it just made me laugh how people just don't want to believe. But as powerful as he was, he bows down immediately to Catherine Coleman. So this is power. That's what that 25 is, though. That's universal law. That's like takes you right back to source. So now when you see her medium Coeli, now your medium Coeli works with your true north node. And that true north node looks like a horseshoe. Now you see the number 9, which again is Virgo energy. Because I keep telling you, anything with Virgo energy is the same as Mother Mary, or the Virgin, or the Divine Feminine, or Isis, or any Divine Feminine, the Empress, the High Priestess. That's that 9 energy. And she's going to have her own light. And not only is she going to have her own light, but she's going to be a light to other people. And that's why it's in Aquarius. Now remember, your 9th house is the highest house. Like, that's your higher self. It could be higher education, higher understanding, higher wisdom. And it's still Sagittarius energy. So wherever you see Sagittarius on her chart, or Jupiter, because Jupiter rules Sagittarius, this is also going to connect back to that 9th house. Now you see that number 12 again, but it's next to her Juno. And then go to that number 3 again. So that's how you know, like I told you. I told you 3-0 is the same thing as number 3. Now they did it again. 3 is that. Because that's what she'll be doing. But now Juno, that little asterisk, that Juno is anybody you find yourself in a real relationship with. But that's just telling you she's going to have a long-term relationship with her twin. Not saying they may go into separation. We don't know how long. But you can see they will be together. Even like I said, Benny Hinn again, he was with his wife and they broke up for a reason, for a long time or something. And then they came back. Because believe it or not, like, that's how I know all this stuff is planned out. Because like Paula White was with Benny Hinn for a little bit, if y'all remember. But now Paula White is so allegedly, advising President Trump. So that's why when they asked Benny Hinn about President Trump, he, when in the beginning, when it first came out, this guy's running for president, Benny tried to act like he didn't really know him. But I was like, yeah, you know him because you know Paula White and all this. And don't act like. That's how you know that everything you're watching is a script. Everything. No matter what you think. If it's coming off that TV screen, that's why they call it tell-lie vision. They tell lies. And most people believe the lies. But So you see it again, that 12, but now it's with Juno. But you got to remember, Juno represents the serious relationship. So now they're showing her and her twin flame together. And the ninth house, which is your higher self really, the more you get closer to your higher self, the more that the masculine, male, and feminine become one. They go back to being what they were before they came into this realm. So now you see them having a serious relationship, but where are they? In Aquarius. Now, why is Aquarius here? Because they're helping these people. Aquarius means community, people, friends, association, groups, community. So they're helping all these people raise to their higher selves. And still that number 12 is, like I said, the stranger, the secret knowledge, the secrets, the hidden. And then Neptune is 13 degrees. Well, that's Scorpio energy. 13 degrees is the death card. But even with the death card, there's a form of rebirth with the death card. But also, which is interesting though, if you pull a death card, the one thing that's on that death card is really the Pope. Because the death card is all about killing anything that's not true. But that's what these people do, these type of people, because they're not into the religious system. They're into like the real knowledge that was forbidden. Because you got to remember, years ago, the church was killing these type of people. People like me, metaphysical people, and these people that know forbidden knowledge and esoteric information and that the power of astrology, they were putting them people to death, wiping them out. So that's kind of like what you see going on here in her ninth house. Like she's helping these people that know there's more to this life than what we're being told. Now remember, Neptune is a deceiver. Now one time I took the Watchtower magazine and I put it together with that Neptune symbol, and it looks like the same thing. Like they're outwardly telling you this is a bunch of bull. They know that what they're teaching you is going to send a whole lot of people to hell. But most of these people don't even believe in hell. So they're doing their job very correctly. But that's what the number 13 card does. It kills all the liars. And also now, there's a woman out here named Veronica, and she's on a channel that basically it has holistic in it. Because one time you could go to her channel and probably find that video, but she talked about that death card. And she showed you two things that's on it that a lot of people miss. Because it's going on right now. So higher realm, holistic. That's Veronica. So 2 days ago, she was talking about QAnon, I guess, returned. And she's talking about that because that's something else that Mark Taylor, the official channel of Mark Taylor, he talks about Q. Everybody talks about Q. All right, so now we're going to jump real quick to the death card. Number 13, Scorpio energy. So she brought it out because when you see the death card coming, he's coming up to the Pope, and it almost looks like the Pope is begging him for mercy. Because if you look at the card, it looks like he's already rode over a couple of people. Like he rode over one person, knocked off the king. It's another person laying on the floor, but she looked like she begging for mercy too. And even that child is there. But what Veronica said from Holistic Healing, she said that death card is showing you the end of like this false religious system that's just lying anyway. And she said the reason why that child is on there because it's the end of like these religious men abusing these children and stuff. That's what she said. Because anytime you do like a reading with a card, you gotta think about what question you ask the card, and then look at the picture, and that's how you get the answer. Because some would say, "Oh no, the child looks like he's begging for his life, like everybody else." But Veronica says he's actually taking that Pope out so that he can liberate the children. And that's a unique card because even the sun is in the background, but it's still shadowy though. But it's rising over the sun. So yeah, that's how I get it. I'm looking at this card, and that because this is number 13. This is the Rider-Waite tarot deck, and it's a death card. But it does look like the sun is coming over the darkness, like the darkness is over with. And even though the Pope has the same color on as the sun, but it's like a fake. It's a fake spirituality, and that death is about to take the Pope out. And then that sun is raising for a better horizon because it's raising above the darkness. So when you keep all that in mind, that's why I said because sometimes like these tarot cards are telling you this. That's why his name is Trump. Because I think that Trump is like the number 16 card. Is the number 16 card, and that's Mars energy, and that is also the end of religion and all that. The number 16 card is the Tower card, yeah, because they got Trump Tower, and if y'all remember when he first started running for president, that guy was trying to climb the tower, but what they were trying to show you was that it alludes to the tarot cards, and so number 16 is the end of all fake religion and all that, and the number 13 card is just three cards ahead of that. But it's basically the same thing. And you got to remember when he was running for president, he got into it with the Pope. Because the Pope said something, said he wasn't a real Christian or something. He said, I am a real Christian and stuff. So they're showing you these cards. They're showing you what's on these tarot cards. So that's why she said that. That's why they made sure they put them kids on there. Because they know at this time, it's the liberation. So now if you're looking at this card, number 13, you got to remember the death card is black as well. But so is that blackness that the sun is rising up over. So it's almost like they're working together. The implication is it's almost like they're working together. And it looks like it's going to be a black day or a dark day for the Pope and any religion, whether you're Catholic or Protestant, it doesn't matter. If you're lying, that death card is symbolizing the end of it. Now, when you go back to her ninth house, because that's what the ninth house is your higher self. Like your ninth house is actually the highest house you had is taking you back to true spirituality and God. And because it's ruled by Sagittarius, it is dealing with your belief system. And that's when Neptune is there, because Neptune is considered the deceiver with fake religion, and Neptune rules Pisces, who rules the 12th house. So really, she's there enlightening these people, and she's kind of like delivering them from the falsehoods and deceptions of this life. Now, number 20, and see, that's good fortune. That circle with the X going through it is good fortune. So once again, remember, this is the ninth house ruled by Sagittarius, but Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. So it is definitely going to be money there. And again, good fortune tells you that it's going to be good fortune because of her teaching and revealing the deception of the false belief systems. And again, Juno means she'll be doing this with her twin. Juno represents a serious relationship. But that's what she wants to do. She wants to teach what she knows to be true. She wants to wake up people who are maybe, they kind of know it's not true, but they don't know what to do. Because out here, you see that on YouTube. You see a lot of people that tap into another person's energy. And like, if you don't mind people doing that, then it is what it is. And it's definitely going to be very lucrative. So, and the number 3 follows her too. But like I said, that number 3 is the Empress card. And remember, the Empress card is Venus energy. So that's still about love. So I'm gonna jump ahead and say on her chart. I'm not saying this for everybody's chart, but on her chart, the number 30 is for like love for people, love for teaching people, and bringing people out of the deception of this matrix. That's the number 30. But the number 3 is really about her love for her twin, like primarily her love for her twin. Because even if you look at her Venus, it's 3. It's 3 twice. Like I said, twin flame. Because 2 plus 1 is 3. And that's why I saw the 33 as well. So now they doing it again. Now they showing her 59. So that's interesting. Now I doubt it if Writing the Beast has an answer for 59. But we'll find it. Oh, they did have an answer. I don't know if we're going to accept it, but we'll take a look. Because if not, we're going to probably go to Gematria and get it. Well, Writing the Beast is associating the number 59 with the Mother Mary. But if you will listen, I've been making that comparison with Mother Mary throughout her whole chart. That's why I said it's just human nature. People listen, and it is a lot of information to take in, but they listen and they don't really get into it. They don't really take notes, and everybody goes back to their low level lives and stuff. But that's a terrible disservice, and that's why in the Bible it says, "My people perish because of lack of knowledge." But when a person is in their lower vibrational self, if they can see it, hear it, taste it, smell it, see it, hear it, taste it, smell it, whatever the fifth one is, or touch it. they kind of forget. They just go back to the same old, same old. See, the rosary of the 7 pains of the Virgin Mary has 59 grains. Mother Mary gave 59 promises. Now, did you know that 59 is the numerical value of the Hebrew word Boaz? Do y'all know who Boaz is? Because all them Christian women, they say, "Oh, I'm Ruth. I want a Boaz. I'm Ruth. I want a Boaz." See my point? Once again, they're talking about him. I told you, both of these, according to this natal chart, she's got the spiritual energy of the high priestess, which would be Mary, and he's got the spiritual energy of the high priest. But that would be messianic. It wouldn't be Joseph. It would be messianic. Because everything is the divine feminine, which is the mother, and the divine masculine, which is the son. And it's always been that way. If you go back to ancient societies, that's who they worship. They worship the mother son god. It's always been that way. That's why when you study your Bibles, because I'm looking at this as a prophetic book. I'm not looking at it like, oh, study your Bible and go to church. I didn't say that. But the Bible is very powerful. When you look at your Bible, you have Jesus telling you, oh, worship the Father, pray to our Father which art in heaven. But then he says, I and the Father are one. So what he's telling you is the things all the ancients knew. That it's always been the divine masculine, which has always been the mother. And then you got the divine feminine, which has always been the mother. And then you got the divine masculine, which has always been the son. Right, so that's your answer for the 59, pretty much. So 59 is good fortune. Now 23, like I said, 23 is like it's Uranus energy. 23 can be like a very good person, like a good speaker, a good talker, a diplomatic person, but it can change on you like Uranus. But 23 also connects you to the Sirius constellation. Like I said, everything in this country, USA, the red, white, and blue is Sirius A, Sirius B, Sirius C, and that number 23 connects you to the Sirius constellation. That would be like your Isis or your divine feminine. And then the Orion constellation is like your Osiris or the masculine energy. So even like I said, when you see 23 and 59, we just learned that 59 is like the masculine to the divine feminine, and then 23 is the divine feminine because it's 23 or Sirius energy. So now, when you get to the 10th house, which is career, but again, this is the person who's going to have some type of religious or spiritual association that somehow home base, or like I said, somebody who's built a center or rented a center or something. Because really her 10th house has become her 12th house. And the 12th house ruled by Pisces and Neptune. But that's about buildings and locations. It could be churches and stuff like this. But when you follow her 10th house, it takes you to Capricorn in the 8th house. And all that is that secret knowledge and that's all that stuff we talked about. So once again, you're still seeing but it's ruled by Capricorn, which is your job or business. And then when you follow the ruler of the 8th house, which is Scorpio, it takes you right into the 6th house, which is the home. So that's what it will be. And the uniqueness of it is Uranus can represent anything coming out of anywhere. But remember, Uranus, now, the 10th house is ruled by Saturn. All about time and rules and all that. But Uranus is not trying to hear all that. And remember, Uranus rules Aquarius. So this is a religion that ain't going to be like the norm. It's like a religion for the people or something like that. But these are different type of people. These are people that ain't trying to hear all that bullshit. That's why 13 degrees is killing Neptune. 13 degrees is a death card. Like we not Neptune is the deceiver. They give you all that fake ass stuff, all that idealism and all that, talking about shit that ain't never gonna happen and all that to deceive the people. These people ain't trying to hear that. They're actually killing that in the 10th house. And remember, Saturn, who rules the 10th house with Capricorn, he doesn't get along with Uranus anyway. They don't like each other. But Uranus he's a rebel. He's not trying to be down with the establishment. He's gonna go against it. And so is she. And she's, like I said, that's really her focus. That's why she's here. And you can tell she's not playing. I'm telling you right now, she will go down in history. If this is allowed to grow the way it's intended, she'll go down in history as being another Ellen G. White, Kathy Coleman, and one of them. And like I said, first off, whenever you get your natal chart done, remember, this is from the beginning. It deals with past lives. It's dealing with your beginning since you've been here in this body. And it's also dealing with how long you're going to be here. And that's why I said people give up quick, because they don't see it benefiting them right now, and they give up. But this could happen at any time. But it could also happen years from now. But it's destined to happen on that chart. And like I said, what happens, as we said earlier, or in part one, sometimes people don't do what they're supposed to. Like I said, because they stay dumbed down, which means that they died and lived again, they still gonna come right back to whatever reality they go into, and they still gonna be expected to address what they're supposed to be working on. And that's like what you call that's a Hindu teaching as well of reincarnation. Also, where Uranus is, Uranus can also be higher technology, and Uranus can also be electricity and things of that nature. So in this 10th house, they gotta be concerned with all of that. And I would tell, we don't know whenever she's gonna set this up because she's young. But I would tell them, be careful of your electronics and your. But they may be so smart. See, because she's Gemini and all that. See, Gemini is also like higher technology and communication and all that. But I would tell her, be careful of electricity and things of that nature. And plus, like I said, I just heard Dr. Delbert Blair saying that tonight when I listened to Melanin Wars. He said because certain people, when they start to wake up, he said if they try to walk. See, remember he said this in like 1996. That was 23 years ago. But that's the power of Sirius, because there goes the number 23 again. But he said those type of people walk past the TV and mess the TV up because they're so filled with all this power. Because I know the day I got baptized, that's how it was. And it was 2011, and I had got baptized. So when I had to go into the restroom and change because I had to put on a white robe to get baptized in. And I couldn't stand next to. They had an electric soap dispenser, and I couldn't stand nowhere near it because every time I tried to stand near it, that soap would just start pouring out by itself. Because whatever was on me, electricity, whatever it was making that thing go off. And I kept moving it, so somebody would come back in the bathroom and move it back to where it normally was, and I would come back in there and move it again because nobody knew what was going on. So like I said, this stuff is real, and people think it. Because I've heard people that were making fun of Benny Hinn. I think one time TMZ was making fun of him, and then the one guy said that he really did. Like, because you know how Benny Hinn used to move. Well, he might still do it. I don't know, but he would do stuff like move his hand and people would fall down and stuff. And he would take off his jacket and do that, and then people would fall down. But I will watch when that happened. I watch his people, and he would do it to his people, and some of them would fall down, and some of them wouldn't. And that's when I said, well, to me that's kind of real, because if anybody's gonna fall down, it's gonna be your people that work for you, because they think they don't want to get fired, and plus they know by people believe it's gonna be more money coming in. So he would do it to his own people. Some will fall, but some of them wouldn't. Some would just stand there. They were like, do whatever. They fall back a little bit, because you don't want to look like a sucker. Everybody fall and you don't do nothing. So they would move a little bit, but they really wouldn't fall. But that guy that worked for TMZ, he said he did feel it, and they was the whole staff was laughing at him like, we don't believe you. He said, no, I did feel something. He said, I did feel something, some type of power or something. So she will be electric because, like I said, that's Uranus and all that as well. But Uranus is a rebel. So now I'm gonna tell you something else though, because we got to go back to the second house a little bit. See, Uranus don't like Saturn. They don't get along. And on her chart, if you notice, that was the only retrograde with Saturn. That's the only retrograde she had. Now the true north node should always be retrograde. That's normal. But that's the only retrograde she had on her chart was your Saturn. But Uranus don't like Saturn. And like I said, Saturn could be that abusive father or that abusive stepfather, that abusive boyfriend. And in some cases, it could even be a mother who's just, she got to be more masculine because there ain't no man around. So she got to be more masculine. Could even be that. But Uranus don't like that. So whatever she suffers in his second house, it's going to fuel her in that 10th house. Just like whatever Joyce Myers went through with her father, it only fueled fuels her passion to become one of the biggest worldwide ministries in modern times. And it probably fueled her desire not to give up. And one thing it will make you is a fighter. Also, Vesta, that asteroid is a spiritual asteroid, but Vesta don't like no aggression. Now this is your 10th house. They don't like no mean aggression. This is your 10th house that's ruled by Saturn. So whenever I see Vesta anywhere near Saturn in any way, shape, or form, I know Vesta don't like no form of mean aggression or masculine aggression. And she will try her best to protect the victim or avenge the victim. Because Vesta also means isolation, which can also mean jail. Wherever you see Vesta on your natal chart, that's where you got to be careful of not burning up all your energy. Because wherever you see Vesta, that's where you give your most energy to. So you got to make sure you don't burn out wherever you see Vesta. But we're going to learn a little bit more because that's important about Vesta. And again, 27, like I said, is the diplomat. But number 1, again, is that Gemini energy. So you keep seeing that Gemini energy or that magician energy. And like I said, Joyce Meyer's husband became a rock to her because her father was horrible. Her father was like a demon, wicked, very, very wicked and perverted man, very violent man. And he repented though. She helped him repent later on, and I think that's a miracle in itself. That's why anybody saying, "Oh, I don't believe in Jesus, I don't believe in Christianity," just see how she forgave her father and helped him convert to Jesus. So so a lot of people say, "Oh, her husband, Joyce Meyer's husband, oh, he don't do nothing. He lets Joyce Myers run all over him, and why didn't he stop her from trying to be a teacher? And women ain't supposed to teach." Them people be talking crazy, but God gave her what she needed to do whatever she did. And again, whenever I talk about these people, I'm not saying I agree with them or disagree with them, but I'm just not bitter. Like, I'm not a hater. I don't just sit here and just talk trash about people. There's going to be good and bad wherever you go. Got to get used to it. You're on planet Earth. That's just the way it is. So we're going to look at let's try to find, well, let's do Vesta in the 10th house. That's what I really want to see first. And again, Vesta is the priestess. Now, depending on where she is on your chart, she could be sexual as well. But on this chart, it's not like that. She's nowhere near like the sexual stuff. So this is definitely a priestess. And she's like the student of Virgo. Like, you got Virgo, the high priestess, and then you have Vesta, who's like her protege or her student. So somebody said Vesta in the 10th house has a keen sense of responsibility and loyalty to groups and organizations. Well, they're kind of equating Vesta in the 10th house with Aquarius energy for some reason. That would be more like Vesta in the 11th house. I think this person's just confused. So they saying that Vesta was close to the medium Coeli. It would mean a spiritual destiny. Well, we know it's a spiritual destiny, but no, her Vesta is not close to the medium Coeli. Like I always said, when you have the medium Coeli in the ninth house, because it's normally in the 10th house, I always say that's like some type of mentor. Like that's like a spiritual mentor. Like that could be your twin flame being your mentor, or it might be you being a mentor somewhere. I always said that, and now you could definitely see it on her chart. Now just give me a moment because I'm trying to find. And if you like, I'm gonna try it one more time. If you can't find it, then remember you can say Vesta in Capricorn because Capricorn rules the 10th house. But I didn't want to do it that way. So it's funny because in her second house, Saturn retrograde was trying to force her to have a more mature view of finances and your value system and possessions and stuff. But now with Vesta in the 10th house, Vesta is trying to encourage dedication to, but it's still more spiritual. It's not like her 10th house has nothing to do in that house with finances. You do see it in other houses though, but her 10th house has nothing to do with finances as much as it does with the spirituality. Because otherwise, the universe would have put something else there to denote finances. Now that doesn't mean she won't hold spiritual stuff where she takes donations or whatever, or even ask for a salary. But that's just not the biggest thing to worry about in the 10th house. It's more. It seems Vest is more about the duty. And again, that's not saying she shouldn't ask, because you should ask, because light bills got to be paid, everything got to be paid. So you should definitely ask, but that's not her main concern. Vest is more into the dedication to the spirituality. All right, so let's try. Let's just do Vesta in Capricorn. Now, this is the first time I've ever seen this place. I don't know if I'm going to agree with it because I didn't like what I just saw, but I'm going to take a look at it. So this is called DreamAstroMeanings.com. So once again, Vesta comes from the Roman goddess of home, family, and the hearth. And like I said, because Virgo is the sixth house, which is home. Cancer would be the fourth house, which is family. But Vesta is working with both of them, but especially Virgo. Like I said, she's like the understudent of Virgo. Okay, now this is important because they put girls in Vesta's temple. But these girls had to be 6 to 10 years of age. And these girls were supposed to stay virgins up to the time of 30. Then after that, they would be released from their oath and their service. And Vesta is all about taking care of the sacred fire of the temple, and it couldn't cease to burn. If they messed up and the fire went out, they would be put to death. Because they believed that that fire burning in the temple helped protect Rome, and if they let that fire burn out, then something bad would happen to Rome, and then they would have to pay with their lives or whatever. Vesta represented virgins, but she was prayed for, or she was prayed to by women who couldn't conceive, or have children. And it's funny because when you start to get in this territory, you're getting into Lilith again. Because whenever you start talking about trouble with childbearing or children and all that, that's Lilith's territory. And see, that number 3 can very well mean the 3rd house as well. Because that's what Lilith is on her chart. So that might be a storyline that follows her for one reason or another. Even if it's associated with the people she's associated with. But it might have something to do with children or childbearing, or even like at Uranus, is things come out of nowhere. But I say when people notice, they can always pray about it, and maybe things that might have happened if they didn't pray may not happen because they prayed. All right, give me a moment. Now, for some reason, they always associate Vesta with refraining from physical intimacy or sexual intimacy, or any type of fear of intimacy. And sometimes you just have to really study a person's chart to find out what that's all about. But the only way I would think about that is because of her 2nd house, where she has what appears to be a situation with Saturn retrograde. So if that was the case, if she did suffer some type of bullying or abuse, or even worse, from a masculine energy, whether it be man or woman or whatever the case might be, then that might be why she might be afraid to open up or show intimacy. So that could be a possibility. But you also got to remember Vesta deals with isolation as well. She also deals with energy and heat. That's why I told you got to be very careful in the 10th house, because you got Uranus there that also deals with like shock and electricity and things going out of nowhere. And then it's right next to Vesta. And Vesta also deals with energy and heat. Now, this could be spiritual energy. This could be spiritual power. But like I said, is still the ingredients for like a fire or some crazy stuff. Because one of her places or something that she may be having religious services in may catch fire for some reason and stuff like that. Plus, you got people that'll burn stuff down deliberately for insurance. I'm not saying she would do it, but people affiliated with her might. And again, this is all stuff that she would be connected with later in her life. And that's why I said that 1 degree, again, is a spiritual person, but they're going to have what some people might call supernatural gifts, or what some people might even say, they might even say the word magic. Because I'm going to say it again, the number 9 is the Hermit card, but that is like a priestess. That's a priest or priestess. Any fives or Taurus energy is the Pope or the Hierophant. Again, that's another priestess. And a lot of these people are going to have supernatural gifts. That would be like the Magician card. Because even when Jesus made wine from water, it's a lot of people that see that as some type of magic trick. Even though the Bible says it was a miracle, but it's a whole lot of people that just see that as a magic trick, you know. Like I said, when was Jesus Christ ever a magician, you know? But he did do a lot of miracles, so for some people that's the only way they can receive it, is to say, oh, you know, they equate it with magic. And I guess because they just don't believe it to be a miracle, so they just go, oh, he's some magic. He found some type of way to do it magically. All right, let's see what else they got up in here. So, like I said, any form of feeling like she needs to reframe and all that, that seems to be dealing with the Saturn energy, and that's what happens. Now, you know, if you're too controlling, too abusive, too bullying, then the person doesn't learn, because now they're kind of afraid. All right, so we're still looking at Vesta. I'm trying to look at this. It's just like this person just wrote a lot of information, so I'm trying to look it over. It's funny because they say Vesta is indicating areas where you need to make sacrifice, and well, that's what Pisces is all about. Pisces rules the 12th house, and it's all about sacrificing for other people. But you do have to be careful because people murder themselves in the 12th house or when they're dealing with Pisces because they just give up too much. So you kind of got to know what you're gonna give up and what you're not gonna give up. And sometimes there's nothing wrong with telling a person no. And I'm always gonna say the best way to help a person is to teach them how to get it themselves and do it themselves. Because they ain't never gonna learn. They're always gonna be waiting for somebody else to do it, somebody else to take them, somebody else, somebody else. And that's how, like I said, people get burned out in the 12th house or in Pisces because they're always doing too much for somebody else. So Vesta rules purity, commitment, devotion, chastity, control, modesty, endurance, virtue, service, suppression of the physical needs, and passion, integrity, and virginity. So they say Vesta and Capricorn women, because like Capricorn does rule the 10th house. So it is like Vesta in the 10th house. But they say sometimes these women will have trouble with intimacy. But you would still have to wonder why. And that's why I said only because of the reason why her chart is arranged that way. And some of this stuff is showing different periods in her life. Because, like I said, if you go to her ninth house, it's right there, Juno, everything, they're all together. If you go to her eighth house, I'm pretty sure he's there as well, her twin, the lover of her life. If you go to her seventh house, he's there. Appears to be in the sixth house, fifth house. But it's just like in the 10th house. You're not sure if he's there or not. But that one is that Gemini energy, so it might be him. Remember, Gemini is the twins of the couple. And they're warning people with Vesta and Capricorn to not be rigid or even to lack emotion, because a lot of people say Capricorn could be a cold zodiac sign. And they keep saying these type of people with Vesta in the 10th house could be manipulative. And we learned that when it went because the magician he is sneaky. Like that 1 degree you see in the 12th house, that's the magician energy. That's like the magician card. And he can be sneaky, but even 27 is a diplomat. Cause like a lot of religious people do that. Cause they know most of these people following them are not thinking people. So if they go, oh, the Lord said, and be, oh, the Lord said, but the Lord ain't said nothing. Look, the Lord ain't said nothing to that person. And that's why even Benny Hinn had admitted. He said, oh, I repent. I'm not going to tell people that the Lord said to give me $1,000 anymore. Took him a long time to admit it, but if you study his ministry, he was already doing a lot of stuff to show that he was changing his views. Because he used to be on them planes just like the rest of them do. He used to stay in the most expensive places like the rest of them do. Then he started to fly like first class on normal. Because like all them people, they had their own jets and all that. He stopped doing it. He stopped. So you just got to avoid manipulating. Because we already learned about that in the 3rd house. And they also say a person with Vesta in the 10th house has to learn how to relax and have fun or whatever. But like I said, if you notice in her 10th house, you don't see a whole lot of and the only because you see the male, you see her twin with her almost everywhere except for that 10th house. But that's because of whatever took place with that Saturn retrograde. Because remember, Saturn rules the 10th house. So psychologically, she may be kind of messed up about that because of what happened here, whatever that was. So it's almost like in her 10th house, she almost has a subconscious fear that I better not play around and all that, and I better succeed, and that's only going to scare her to start manipulating because she kind of feels like she has to. Because subconsciously, because remember, Pisces rules the 12th house. The 12th house is everything. All your subconscious mind, your things under the closet, things that are hidden. But she has that going on in the 10th house because of him. Because of the Saturn, whatever, whoever, he really got inside of her head. So in her 10th house, she don't see love or nothing. What she does see is agenda. And she has that Uranus because the Uranus still kind of wants to rebel. But even though Uranus kind of wants to rebel, she still got a certain fear that she better produce. Because that's what she was forced to do in the 2nd house. And then Vesta, like I told you, Vesta hates abusive male energy. She hates that abusive energy. So Vesta's trying to be there for her and trying to help her to lighten up a little bit or whatever. But it's not, because Vesta's about isolation and Pisces rules the 12th house. That's about isolation. Because she would have to learn how to be human, how to laugh and have fun, how to trust in spirit or God, and don't worry about humans and everything around you and all the stuff humans put each other through. And they say they don't like to be criticized or judged in the 10th house. But again, that's because of what took place in the second house. So hopefully she'll let her man in, so that that 10th house can become less rigid and less fearful and more loving, more like a family. And now in the 11th house, again, friends, association, groups, but her 11th house is going to be connected to her 9th house as well, because that's both have the Aquarius connection. But now, for some reason, Aries is in the 11th house. So that is going to be aggression. And at 28 degrees is too much. 28 is definitely not balanced, and it's too much. But that is why she's here. That's a true north node, and that shows you your purpose in life, why you're here. And it is to have, it is to help these people, friends, association, groups, the community, and stuff like that. So it's almost like at some, when she gets, when she I'm gonna say originally, when she originally gets involved with it, she'll be too gun ho, because that's what Aries is, a lot of aggression. So the first thing you want to say is, well, what about a Mars? What's going on with a Mars? And Mars is there. So you see the ninth house connection with Sagittarius and Aquarius is there. Aquarius in the ninth house, but she's just not balanced. But I think these are her early stages. It just seems like she's gonna be way too ready, way too eager, way too aggressive. So that would be a suggestion, is just to slow it down in the 11th house. Now, finally going into the final house, all about bringing it together. And well, like I said, it's a 12th house, the spiritual house. Taurus can be the Pope energy, but it's also your money and possessions, or whatever the case might be. And also because the 7th house has that Saturn retrograde. So once again, see, ideally your 12th house is where you really let it all come out. Whether you're doing it with somebody qualified or whatever, but you're really trying to bring all the subconscious stuff out and all the stuff going on, so you can start to deal with it. So in her 12th house, she would have to look at the family connections to the second house, the financial connections, the possessions. And again, when you go to her second house, Saturn is going to take you right up to 10th house, where you got Pisces, and Pisces is going to take you back to the 12th house. And remember, the 10th house is also going to take you to the 8th house, because Capricorn is in the 8th house right now. So again, with Taurus, you're dealing with finances versus possessions, value system. '18 is the moon. So again, whatever we said about the moon, mama, and see that's in the 5th house too. And that could be very sensual as well. And I just want to do tarot card number 14 again. So tarot card number 14 is Temperance card, which is about internal change, Sagittarius energy. So again, when you follow Sagittarius, takes you into the house of relationship. Which you do see the number 5 degrees, and that could be Taurus energy. So mainly on this chart, that 12th house is all about coming to grips with the Saturn retrograde, whatever happened with that. So what she should do, the main thing she should do, if her and her who appears to be her twin flame, if they're growing together, then she should definitely try to move that situation into her 10th house, because it seems like she has some type of fear. And she doesn't want to not succeed there, but it's a type of fear, and that's because of whatever happened in her second house. And like I said, a lot of times, like how Joyce Meyer's husband was with her. You know, he was always very supportive of her, and no matter what she said or did, he always was supportive. And you know, a lot of people don't really appreciate that till it's really gone. But a lot of stuff, if you take away anything from this particular read, you always got to ask yourself where you're at. Because sometimes that's true. You might meet somebody and they might not be what you want, but for whatever reason you hang in there and hang in there, and even though this person might hurt you and not appreciate you and all kind of craziness that goes on, but at some point they start to change for some reason or whatever, and you might be able to look back and say, "Oh, it was worth it. Like it was worth hanging in there." Because that's how Taurus can be real patient too. But it was worth it hanging in there, and you know whatever. But if you really know you don't want to hang in there and you don't want to go through the process and all that, then it would be foolish to even start it. Because the person is going to be kind of like waiting on you or hoping you stick around or whatever, and you might not, you may not even want all that. So that's why I said people just have to know and take it from there. But that pretty much is this particular video, and that's all I can really see is that if she is going to be with this guy, um try to bring him into more, because you see that activity all the way pretty much staying with the fifth house, and she seems pretty much like she's very interested in being with him in the fifth house or whatever. But when it gets to that 10th house, it kind of cools off, and I believe that's a subconscious reason that it's a subconscious because of what she went through in the second house. So she's kind of like and it's like it's kind of sad because really everywhere else she wants, you know, wants that guy with her, and she wants to be positive minded and go forward. But when you use that second house, she's just all right. So that pretty much will do this read. Keep in mind we still got a whole lot of sales going on, a lot of offers going on. You can check it out on the channel as well. You can also request the most recent services offered and price list. This is Get. I'm out.